Hello, friends. You're now listening to the lifestyle, leisure, and sports show you never knew was two of those things.
I think we can all acknowledge that if this fails, you two will be fired and I will remain. So, no pressure.
Bo Bishop, a regional media icon, winner of Emmys, purveyor of the good life.
Sir, you don't know that for a fact.
I just said it on the radio.
Also, two guys this company named Employee of the Month.
What are you talking about?
Paul Hogan is Hulk Hogan's brother. Look it up.
Because it's Hulk Hogan. That's his real name.
One guy is from Australia. The other one is from Tampa.
You mean he's from Hollywood, brother?
Not brothers. Chops.
Yes, they are.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and Reese with you for the next three. The Poison Ivy has gotten to Chopper. It's back. What are you going to do for the kid? It's hardship. This is what happens. Reese and I hold it down. We got 3 hours ahead of us. Jake Trotter going to join us coming up at 10:33, as is customary. We'll do a little Jeremy Birmingham as well coming up at 11:33. Bo Jackson, as you heard the handsome update anchor there just say, is in. He is in. And I have to assume when you name, that's a choice. When you name the son Bo Jackson, that he's good enough to get a scholarship offer at Ohio State. That's landing the plane, as it were. Speaking of landing the plane, Jack's place is humming right now. When I saw this list for this Pro-Am that's going on out there, I mean, this is a pretty remarkable situation. For a while, they got rid of the Pro-Am. I want to say that was it Nationwide when they got involved as the presenting sponsor wanted it back. And it's back, and it's been back for a while. But some of these pairings are absolutely stunning. I saw this tweet last night or this morning rather, from Rory, with the tagline, perfect place to host the Workday Pro-Am pairings party for the Memorial. And he's got a picture of the shoe and the rotunda and all of that stuff. And it feels like that's playing to the crowd for sure. I'll tell you what, I would love to talk to Rory about the rest of the stuff. I understand when he gets in front of a mic, the golf media has to ask him about, live and all that nonsense. But I would be curious to know what point of reference he has on Ohio State football. Because most of the time when you talk to foreign players, hockey players, or soccer players, and you talk to them about something like Ohio State football, it's very difficult for them to wrap their head around that 100 and some thousand people watch amateurs compete. It's a tough sell. And I'd be curious to know how aware he was of it, and how much he knew about it. He's been around a long time, but it's one of those things that it's certainly not the way that he would have grown up. Well, he's in a hell of a pairing at the Pro-Am, at the Golden Bear Pro-Am, which is going on out there this morning. He's going to play the front nine, and then our local resident Jason Day is going to play the back, and the other three in the pairing are Anthony Gonzalez, who, since he quit Congress, I'm not sure what Gonzo's been up to. I haven't seen him around. He's been kind of off the grid a little bit. So he's in there, along with Peyton Manning and Chris Pratt. So that's your four. That's what's walking around out there. Incredible list on this Pro-Am. Steve Young, Rob Lowe, Buster Posey, Iguodala's in a group as well. I think he was playing with Justin Thomas, if I saw that right. Michelle Wee is out there playing this morning as well. So this thing is loaded up. Typically, this is one of those things where everyone's pretty hospitable. You get a pretty good look of these guys playing and some immense celebrities. But do you know what Chris Pratt's connection would be? Is he a Workday? What would be his?
No clue. My guess is he knew somebody that asked, "Hey, do you want to come out and play Jack's course?" I think this is, him and Rob Lowe. Obviously that maybe they're doing another Parks and Rec thing. But I honestly think so many of these guys that are in Hollywood or wherever it is, they can appreciate, Jack Nicklaus, right? And I think when you get an invitation like that, and it might have just been Peyton Manning texted him or one of the other celebrities like, "Hey, do you want to come play a golf tournament with me in the beginning of June? What day? Wednesday. I'm in."
I wonder if he may have connection with Workday too. So Workday's now the presenting sponsor out there. Manning has Workday too. He did Nationwide, but does he?
What isn't Manning connected with?
That's a good point.
But he did. Manning did the Pro-Am forever when it was a nationwide event. So I wonder if it's not even a Workday thing. It's just maybe just likes it. We're doing the Memorial. Come play.
Yeah, and he would obviously have played with Anthony Gonzalez with the Colts. He loved Gonzo. And you've heard Anthony tell those stories before of how specific Peyton was on routes, and Gonzo ate that up because intellectually he was more than prepared for everything that was going to be thrown his way. I did get this email. Normally we do the emails on Thursdays, but this one I thought we could try to be helpful right away this morning. This is from Bill. He writes, hi, Bo. Love the show. Appreciate your insights. Now that we're expecting our first child, have been paying extra close attention to your parenting stories. We'll be going to the Memorial Tournament with my pregnant wife on Sunday. She's a UA native and has never been. I've been on a few occasions and typically like to follow a group for a few holes and then wait for the next group and follow for a few more holes and so on. Get to see plenty of golfers in the course. However, I doubt my pregnant wife will agree to all of that walking. Any spots you recommend that we can sit and see a lot of action? Maybe a spot that has views of a tee or green approach and green. Thanks for all that you and the boys do. 14's great if you can get there. It's also a relatively short walk from the main entrance. If you can get to 14, that'll be crowded. But that was one that jumps to mind. I'm trying to recall. I have not walked back out there in a long time with pregnant wife. Might not be crazy about it, but is it 11? Like if you can get back behind 11, you kind of have you got that's the par 5. You got a decent shot coming up 11, and then you can kind of look over and see the par 3 at 12. But that's a bit of a hike from the main entrance. You'd have to go in one of the back entrances to Muirfield in that instance. The other place that's pretty good is at 16, the par 3. That's not too bad of a walk.
I was just thinking about 16 because, again, if you're going down a hill, you must go back up.
That's right.
On your way back out of the course, or unless I guess you can find, one of the other exits, like there's one 15. Because, it's all pretty great and within walking distance from one, but it does work on your calves.
Yeah, and it's it's a long hike. Even if you park in one of the the auxiliary lots or whatever, it's a long hike just to get into the place, and then to start to head out there. 14 is money. I mean, that's the short par 4. That's money. 16 is good. On the front, like I was saying yesterday, on the front, it almost all is a long hike because you're going out. And there's no way to really cut back through. The back nine has ways where you can kind of hop from hole to hole and not have to go the full length of it. But once you start heading out on the front nine, you're pretty much stuck. There's a short, 3, 4? There's some decent stuff there, but again, you're walking straight out.
I'd say maybe 9 once you get off of 1. You're kind of there. The
only thing with 9 is good, but you'll see their shots land, and then you get the approach.
If they plunk it in the water, like I saw John Rahm last year in the third round, I think he might have eagled that hole, and that was pretty terrific. Plus, you can kind of sit on the hill that goes down into the water there.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm just trying to think of from you've got
short
a
walk.
1+1 that you've also got to consider. Because if it's just me, brother, I'll walk anywhere.
Yeah, you go anywhere. Yeah, no, I think those are probably your best shots on that, Bill. But look, those are your best shots to be able to get to a decent viewing area and be able to see some things and enjoy it. Do we have pairings for tomorrow? Do we have some of that?
We do. So I think 7:50 is the first pairing for this. I know that they've got one guy going off. It would be a very lonely thing to go off by yourself at 7:40, but that's what Davis Thompson's being asked to do.
So did you see this from Dom this morning? They are giving, it's an Ohio State player is going to play with him.
Oh, cool. Player marker. I see that.
There's a player marker that I saw Dom tweeting it out this morning. It's an Ohio State kid who's going to get to play as a player marker to give a little bit of some walking.
So you're looking at
partnership.
10:20 and 10:30. At 10:20, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, and then 10 minutes after them, you've got Scottie Scheffler and Ludwig Aberg.
Oh, he's the kid who was ridiculous at the Masters, who's going to be a stud.
So that's Billy Horschel, Will Zalatoris are at 10:40. So that kind of half hour is going to be nuts there by 1. I'd imagine a lot of the guys will be coming on 10 at that point, the guys that started between 7 and 8 o'clock. So you do have the chance where you're not all going to be crowded at one, because that's what I'm really interested to see with it's just pairings. Everybody starts on one, at least for Thursday and Friday. What do the crowds look like following that group that I just mentioned or that?
Where's Rory? Did you have him?
I did not say him.
Usually has a pretty good
He's in the afternoon, 1:20 with Justin Thomas.
Okay, so that'll be a money line.
At 1 o'clock, you got Ricky Fowler, Max Homa, 1:10, Jason Day, Justin Rose, McIlroy, and Thomas to follow at 1:20.
All right, so here's the thing for Bill and for anybody who's camping on a hole. You're going to want to be somewhere, and you can see those three groups come through successfully, one after another. So you got that, and then you have that. So they were really smart with this. Those 10 o'clock, you had the 10 o'clock pairings that had Scheffler, and those guys was in that group, those three groups. So those three groups, you said that was 10:40?
Yeah.
Those three groups, and then the 1 o'clock groups, those are going to be the money. Those are the money groups, and they did a good job of putting those people together, so folks can do it. One thing I will tell you though is because everyone's going to be following a lot of those groups. If you follow somebody else, you're going to get a really cool view of the whole thing. If you wanted to walk and follow and just follow a group, you get a really, really cool look at the whole thing. It's awesome. We'll be there tomorrow for it, broadcasting live tomorrow, and then again on Friday. It's the official start of summer. That's what it's always been to me, and that's what it'll be, even if it is a week later. And it's starting today with the Golden Bear Pro-Am out there, which is underway. 7 a.m. on that tee time, by the way. Peyton Manning and those guys went off at 7 a.m. That's an early bird.
They make plenty of coffee there, so
yeah, that's an early bird.
If you're
man.
Pratt coming over from California,
you're up at 5:30.
Yep.
Be at the course by 6. Your breakfast and warm up, and away you go. Now, to be fair, my hunch is some of those guys would be in villas. Although the villas, they do use a lot of them for the corporate.
Don't those get rented?
They're usually corporate interest. But I would imagine that there's probably a place on the property that like Manning and Pratt are staying at, I would think. I wouldn't think they're in a hotel. Be my guess. But either way, it's a win. We're going to be out there. Look forward to it all year long. It's certainly a bright beacon for our city every year that it's done out there at official start of summer, and look forward to being out there tomorrow. We've got a lot to get to here on the program. So you told me yesterday to start paying attention to the Guardies. So
we had
story.
that.
A little story for you on that. So you have that to look forward to. You'll also hear from Jack Nicklaus, Scottie Scheffler. Scheffler pretty pointed with his remarks about what happened down in Louisville. I don't know if you picked up on that. Louisville is what he called it multiple times.
That's intentional.
Of course that's intentional. Yeah, that's intentional. It's the biggest slap in the face you can do. C.J. Stroud ranks himself. Some quarterback tiers will tell you where the Buckeyes landed on that. And, of course, it is a Hey Guys and an officially endorsed First Friday. We're off and running. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
At the James at Ohio State, you're choosing the experts who understand there is no routine cancer, where your care is delivered by a highly specialized team dedicated to studying and treating just one type of cancer, yours, and where 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer. All at the region's only comprehensive cancer center, designated by the National Cancer Institute. You didn't choose cancer, but the choice of where to treat it is clear. The James at Ohio State.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorrento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube. Watch us live or on demand by searching 971 The Fan. Which fan host will awkwardly scratch their privates? Let's find out together. Find us on YouTube, The Fan.
Hi, this is Bob Capacci. Worthington Jewelers has done it again. Come see our new collection of Glock watches at Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Cleaner, greener, better.
For roof leaks and roof replacements, call Legacy Roofing Services, Central Ohio's commercial roofing leader. Legacy Roofing Services, ranked in the top 100 roofers in America. Call Legacy today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm getting married today.
You may now kiss the bride.
I'm also a firefighter and first responder. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're also making sure I can get to my wedding ceremony to start the next chapter of my life.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
This morning, any traveling that you have to do, things look A-OK. It is nice and dry out there. As we head into the afternoon, we have showers and storms arriving late in the day. Between 5 to 8 p.m. is the ideal timing for these storms. Heading into Thursday, it looks like a much drier day tomorrow. Less humidity with highs in the upper 70s. That's the latest forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop & Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop & Friends.
Hey, it's your Uncle Bo here. I want you to picture this, kids. Cannonballs into the lake, s'mores at the fire pit, sleeping under the stars. Well, that could be you when you visit my friends at RCD RV. RCD is having their summer open house. They do it every year this time. You do not want to miss it. Huge RV savings all month long in June. New travel trailers as low as $14,995. The area's widest and best selection. Over 600 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Start your summer adventure at RCD RV. Visit one of their 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com for more. So I had the Guardians on because you had told me to. You said, pay attention. This is your exact quote. Wait until Stephen Kwan comes back and then pay attention to the Guardians. That's your quote. So I said, okay, you told me yesterday. I got to do it. So I watched. So I had it on. I was dual screening. But I had it on paying attention, which is how I don't watch a lot of baseball, but when I do, that's usually how it goes. I bailed before the 7th inning.
Oh, no. When did you bail? Did you bail when it would have been 5-2? I guess it was 5-0. It
was 5-0, and I went, okay. I'm like, well, this isn't going to go well. And then I had like the X up, and everyone was complaining about Kansas City, and the world was going to end. And I'm thinking, well, they've played 60 games. They have 102 left. Like you got a long time. Like I don't know that this means it. But then I was unaware that this is a big one, right? Because Kansas City's really good somehow. They won the World Series, got really bad, appear to have drafted well, and are really good. Meantime, the Guardians have just been really good the whole time without that pennant. But everything else they've done. So I bailed before they came back.
So I stuck
is what I get.
Well, you learn, right? This team, this was a similar situation on Sunday against Washington where they were down multiple runs. And I've learned, through this season and last season, like, don't bail. Just give it a couple of innings. And I knew with Ramirez coming up in the fourth, I was like, all right, maybe there's a chance. If they can pull something together here in the bottom of the inning, all right. Ramirez comes up, and they move over. Quan, obviously, as your leadoff spot, is one of the hottest hitters in the league, but Ramirez is able to draw him in. Then comes Josh Naylor. And then he makes it, it would have been a 5-3 ball game with a 2-run shot. Mm-hmm. And then they're able to, tack on, I think it was Tyler Freeman who had another 2-run home run. And so you're tied. You're tied after 4. Mm-hmm. All right. Do not leave this team. I beseech all of you out there I speak
That's kind of it, I think,
Don't leave this team when you think it's over, but it's still early because that was the fourth inning. Where the Royals were up 5-0, and it was a rough start from Tristan McKenzie. But in the seventh, I don't know if you saw what happened.
I did. I saw the highlight this morning as this all came to fruition.
The zaniest ways you'll ever see a team win a baseball game. So Bobby Witt, one of their best players.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Their shortstop goes to field a pretty routine chopper from, I want to say it was David Fry who hit it, and he just misses the tag with his foot on second base. Like I think what he did was he stepped early and thought he had tagged the base. But he missed, and then he misses the throw to first that would have resulted in a double play to end the inning because the bases were loaded, but the ball skips over the first baseman, goes into the stands, and the bases get to clear.
Right.
He scored 3 on 2 errors.
Yeah. Yeah, Witt hit 2 home runs last night. Naylor's got 16 on the year. Ramirez is tracking down. He's starting to get on a short list, right? All-time Guardians guys.
Yeah, He's
in the vicinity now, right?
Man, Tomey's got the most. It'll take another year or 2 before he gets Tomey, but I think Manny Ramirez, he's chasing down in terms of all time.
From a, and if is his whole career there?
Yes,
Ramirez's. Because you start to, so he's 31. I'm just curious what it looks like, but it's a pretty remarkable run for him there, and he's kind of in the centerpiece of all of it. He came up in 2013, so he's in his 11th season. You're talking about a guy who, if he sticks it out, career 280 guy, 232 home runs, 804 RBIs all time is where he stands at going into his 11th season, and he's clutch. He's provided so many moments through the years. I mean, his postseason stuff has been really, other than 2017, has kind of been the stuff of legends. So he's tracking down some pretty heady stuff when you think about all time in that franchise's history.
Yeah, he's 4 back of Manny Ramirez in their home run all time list. Looks like he's 10 back of Albert Bell, and then he's still about 105 back of Tomey.
Yeah, and beloved.
Yes.
Really, truly beloved.
And that's what I said this a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't in jest. He's on my all-time Guardians, Indians, Mount Rushmore.
He's coming,
He's on mine. And everybody can have theirs. I'm not saying, because there's
Feller, Tomey, Doby.
But what I'm watching here is an all-time run from Jose.
Yeah, the one that's honestly that is so disproportionately popular up there is Kenny Lofton. And he wasn't even there for the whole time because he was traded at one point to Atlanta. But he was a guy who just remained so popular up there. Meantime, the Reds are kind of humming too. They're still 5 games under 500, 8 games back of Milwaukee in the Central, just 2 out in the wild card, and they have Ellie De La Cruz, who is just absurd every single time he does anything. Anytime you flip on the screen, you see it. He is, for them though, and for him, they need postseason ball. They do. I mean, it's one thing to watch a supernova every night, and he is that. But at the same time, they need to play for that fan base. They need to play. They need to be buyers at the deadline, and they need to be playing meaningful games into September. That's really what they need to do to be able to get this done and to be able to really capitalize on the momentum that Ellie De La Cruz has had. This is now going into the second season of him where it's like, boy, did you see what he did last night? He's the only player in big league baseball, 10 home runs and 30 stolen bases. That's it. That's the list. He's the guy. So he is an absolute igniter. David Bell yesterday on the offense finally starting to gain a little bit of confidence.
Efforting that.
With our pitching, it didn't take, a lot of runs, but guys continue to swing the bat well. It's been, a couple weeks now where guys are gaining confidence and swinging the bat. We're scoring runs, getting on base, and, tonight it was 2 out hits and speed, too. Blake Dunn beats out a double play ball, leads to 2 runs. So, kind of the type of baseball that we want to play.
Yeah, they've won 8 of 11. Frankie Montes is great, 9 Ks, 1-hit gem for him. So, look, we always say this for the casual fan, and at best I'm casual when it comes to baseball nowadays, but you be relevant in June when the rest of the stuff starts to go away. Be relevant through June and July. Give us something to talk about. Give us something to watch. Make it must-see TV, whether it's Reds or Guardians. Doesn't matter. Could be both. We're lucky enough around here we can monitor both pretty easily. So there's an opportunity there for them to bring in the eyeballs, and they both are exciting teams, and you got a chance. The benefit for Cincinnati in the Central is it's just everyone's around 500 in that division, so they can make up ground in a hurry, tracking down Milwaukee, who's kind of running away with it. They're 11 games over 500 at the moment, but there's a lot of ball left to be played and some exciting young stars certainly down in Cincinnati, and obviously Cleveland's operation is totally different. For them, it's just about what can you do to make sure that you finally bring it home. They're in the postseason every year. What can you do to finally bring it home and be, a World Series type team? They have feasted on this division historically. Over the last 15 years, they feasted on it. They're one of 3 teams with 40 wins on the season, joining the Phillies and the Yankees. That's it. That's the list.
So when you say, I agree. There has to be a time where they've got to summit this mountaintop. The Cleveland Guardians do. But then you look at, the multi-$100-million rosters of the Phillies and the Yankees, and
I know.
You see New York at 43-19, and that's, for me, it feels just an inevitable thing. I know it's June 5th. I know there's so much baseball to play, but damn, if you haven't watched the Phillies, the thing about the 3 teams that you mentioned, with the Guardians, the Yankees, and the Phillies, is even if you're a casual fan, one of every 5 games you're going to see a great pitching performance. It's a 1-run ball game. The rest of them, you're going to see some dingers.
Yeah, you are.
And that's what the people love.
People love it. Chicks dig the long ball, man. Always have. Memorial Tournament starts tomorrow. You'll hear from the Golden Bear and the world number 1. Some very interesting comments from Scottie Scheffler yesterday about the incident down in Louisville. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice.
Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
every shot, every goal. ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
With spring ball behind us, we're officially gearing up for the most anticipated football season ever. Excited, nervous, terrified to your very core? Think of us as your emotional safe space. Always your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a first Friday. The Memorial Tournament, the Golden Bear Pro-Am, is underway this morning. The tournament is on tomorrow for real. Your betting favorite is Scottie Scheffler, followed by Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa. It's a great field, man. Hovland in there as well. Cantlay's a two-time winner. Justin Thomas would love to win here. Matsuyama's won here before. Max Homa in the mix. Sahith Theegala is in the mix as well. Wasn't that Adam King's pick? He's going big on that.
Put his money on it.
He's gotten all the soft-earned cash on that. So look, it's a great field, and it's a tribute to Jack. That this is the case, that they can still draw this type of field with this being moved to a week before the U.S. Open. Jack was available yesterday. I had a feeling he was not going to love this, but let's start with his reasoning as to why the Memorial Tournament was moved back 1 week.
We would prefer the other week. However, we are here this week because the tour asked us to help them out. They said they had a thing that they wanted to do and that the players had asked for, and will we help it out? And we said yes, that we would do that this week. But we said we would review it after this tournament and we'll figure out how we're going to sit on the schedule after that. And I said that discussion is underway.
So I'm curious I wonder what the tour was trying to do, because it was the RBC last week. Wasn't it? The one in Canada?
Yeah.
So they hopped in that spot.
Draw interest to that? But I'm spitballing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is still the $4 million winner's payday. This is still the signature event. Jack elaborated a little bit about the idea of not loving the fact that the tournament got moved a week.
When I played, I would rarely play a week before any major championship. So I'm asked to be part of putting on a golf tournament in a week that I would never play. And that, to me, is the essential part from my standpoint. From a sponsor standpoint, Memorial Day has been what our name is, and we were around Memorial Day. I mean, yesterday was normally a very big day gallery-wise for us because it was Memorial Day, and we had maybe 1,000 people here yesterday. We're going to have a good tournament this week either way, in spite of all the different things. And, you know, as I say, we did that as a favor and the tour asked us to do that. And we said yes. And so, you know, we've always been a supporter of the tour. We support what we think is, we want to try to continue to support what is best for the tour. But we also want to support what's best for the Memorial Tournament. And so that is to be determined.
I mean, it's been moved twice. It was at one point Memorial Day weekend. And then for the better part of the whole time I've been here, I'm certain of it, it's been the weekend coming out of Memorial Day, which felt natural, and maybe it's just because what I've gotten used to, but it's in the name. You know, it's in the name. It's in the name. Yes, it's memorializing players who have played and past champions and all of that stuff, but it's also they have not shied away at all from the military aspect of it and leaning into that. It's a very comfortable place for Jack to be in that world, and you can hear him say there the disappointment of the fact that it's not. It's going to be a great tournament. And I think that point he made about I would never do this. I would never want to play a week before the U.S. Open. But the good news for him and for us and the tournament is that all the best players on the PGA Tour are playing. There's nobody missing that you would want to see who's on the PGA Tour. You can't do anything about the live guys, but everybody on the PGA Tour is in. And the best players are here, including the world number one, Scottie Scheffler, who will be motivated like so many with the idea of getting that handshake from the Golden Bear.
This is a special place for me. You know, I remember when I was in college, I came here and I would play the U.S. Open qualifier over at the other courses here. I can't remember what their name are right now, but yeah, we would always come over and watch the practice round, and, you know, we'd stay an extra day and watch a little bit. And, you know, I always dreamed of coming here and playing in this tournament, and, you know, it's a dream come true just to be here in the field. And so, you know, I'm excited. It would mean a lot to me to be able to shake his hand and win this golf tournament, you know, with all the history here and what Mr. Nicklaus has meant to the game. And, you know, like I said, it's just, it's an honor to be in the field this week.
He's been the best player in the world for a long time now, a couple of years at least. But his fame took on a whole nother level a couple of weeks ago at the PGA Championship down at Valhalla in Louisville. We were live on the air, Reese, when that was happening. You and I were. It was surreal in the moment, trying to make sense of it. I believe we had it. Went exactly the way. Now that it's all done, it went exactly the way that we thought it was going to go that morning. And it's all the charges have been dropped and all of those things. And there's, you know, some people. Hell, we've made light of it. The fact that like the pictures of him, the mugshot pictures, are going to be on T-shirts. The fact that, you know, we tell our guys at Dublin PD to go easy on him, those type of things. But the fact is, this is an incredibly traumatic thing that Scheffler went through that morning, and he addressed it yesterday at length for kind of the first time. And he started with still the fact that he's trying to get over it.
You know, I would say that I still wouldn't have 100% moved past it because, yeah, the charges are dropped, but I still, now it's almost more appropriate for people to ask me about it and ask me about the situation. And to be honest with you, it's not something that I love reliving just because it was fairly traumatic for me being arrested going into the golf course. And so it's not something that I love talking about, and it's something that I'm hoping to move past. But when the charges are dropped, that's kind of only the beginning of kind of getting past it, if that makes sense. So kind of, you know, operating through that now. And it was definitely a bit of a relief, but not total relief, because that's something that'll always, I think, you know, kind of stick with me. You know, that mugshot, I'm sure, is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can all laugh at it, but like that's something he's gonna have to answer to his kids. You know, and you can't just say, I mean, how do you explain that away? What happened there? So it's just something that he otherwise would rather not deal with. He did have some interesting stuff here. Here's how he found out when the charges would be dropped.
I had a good idea at the end of the week at Colonial that they were going to be dropped. Obviously, we had a lot of evidence on our side. You know, we needed to let the legal process play out at that point. But towards the end of the week at Colonial, I think my lawyer used the term, like, it went from like a 1-foot putt to it's on the lip kind of thing. And then, you know, nothing's obviously official until it becomes really official. But I think Friday afternoon it was pretty official in our mind. They just needed to meet with the judge to go over details and stuff like that.
He obviously is in a position, if he wants, to sue Louisville police for the way that they handled that morning. He was asked about that. Here's what he had to say.
There was a ton of evidence in our favor. There was eyewitnesses on the scene that corroborated my story, and the video evidence, the police officer talking to me after, all the evidence pointed to exactly what my side of the story was. And so if we needed to, if I had to show up in court, I think Steve was more than prepared to pursue legal action. But at the end of the day, I did not want to have to pursue legal action against Louisville, because at the end of the day, that the people of Louisville are then going to have to pay for the mistakes of their police department. That just doesn't seem right. And so at no point did I ever want to sue them, but if it came there, I think my lawyer was more than prepared to use that as more of like a bargaining chip type thing, more than anything.
Okay. So
Louisville.
there are many ways that you can say Louisville. People from there, I've been told, call it Louisville, like Louisville. But I've also heard it Louisville. Like when I grew up, like Louisville basketball. I have never heard it Louisville. And I would assume Scottie Scheffler knows that. And that is his way of kind of sticking it to him a little bit, which I think is great. On a serious tone, it does make you think, like, what happens if it's not Scottie Scheffler? Like, what happens if it's not the world's number one who's wrongly arrested and handled that way and charged? I mean, he's charged with a felony.
Because is Jeff Darlington right there with just anybody? Like, I'm assuming he was there because he was Scottie's motorcade or Scottie's group that was driving in, and he had some awareness that, all right, Scottie's going in at this time, I'll be around.
The way I think Jeff was just coming into the tournament.
Oh, so that was
just happenstance.
Wow.
No, he wasn't trying to get, I don't think he was trying to get like video of Scottie coming in or anything. I think that he was just there, just happened to be there as it happened, just right place, right time. But if he's not there, and if it's not Scottie Scheffler, you got somebody who is charged with a felony that did nothing. I mean, the video evidence shows that he did nothing. And remember, everyone tried to turn this into privilege and all of these things on the day of it. And we were like, no, this ain't it. That ain't it. That's not what this is. He was instructed to do what he did. Louisville police would have been instructed to allow for the players to come in. That's just what was known at that time. And if he's not Scottie Scheffler, who the hell knows what happens with this thing? One thing that has happened, and I can't imagine how crazy that day was for him and how crazy that week was for him, he has become infinitely more popular because of it. Like, he will have monster galleries. If you were to say heading in, I don't know how much this changes it, but tomorrow when we're playing, the Rory gallery will be a monster, and the Scottie gallery will be a monster. They will be the two biggest ones that you see out there. That's just the way that it's going to go. So it's a surreal scene. I'd love to see him win it here. I feel like the golf course fits his game really, really well. It'd be a hell of a story for him to get it done here and be in the mix. We got a chance for a very special weekend of golf. It's going to have a major feel to it when you think about all of the guys that are out there. Speaking of major feel, CJ Stroud feels majorly confident about his game. We'll explain coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Low testosterone causes many issues, including low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating low T. And if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. We've successfully treated many men for the condition and seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're like most men with low T, within just a few weeks, your energy will return, that brain fog will disappear, your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So call us and make a true life change. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
When it comes to getting a new roof, are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Whether residential or commercial, Schottenstein Roofing meets the needs of every customer. From roof installation and repair to siding and gutters, you name it, we do it. Call Schottenstein Roofing, 614-321-8888 to schedule your free inspection today. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Don't miss the hot deals at the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. 2 locations, Poth Road in Whitehall and Hebron Road in Heath. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot. Find a massive selection of laminate, luxury vinyl, and carpet, all drastically reduced. Everything for your next project. 24-month financing is available with approved credit. Hurry, the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale ends June 5th. Dealers welcome.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized with help from Beacon. I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
C.J. Stroud has certainly had himself a year. If you think about where he was a year ago and the questioning of can an Ohio State quarterback be a dude in the league, so much so that he ends up really one of those things. It does feel like retroactively that Tepper, the owner in Carolina, he trumped his own football people in wanting Bryce Young. It feels like his football people wanted CJ, and he trumped that and went with Bryce Young, and they gave up a ransom to be able to get him, obviously, and they're in a world of hurt. Meantime, CJ goes out, wins a playoff game first time out, makes the playoffs, wins a game at home, and now they're kind of the darling of the NFL. They've been kind of the darlings of the offseason. And CJ, to his credit, is talking, man. He's everywhere. He is. If you have a podcast, he will come on it. He has made the rounds this offseason, and he's so comfortable doing so in all of these scenarios, whether it's with McAfee or who's on this podcast, Million Worth of Game. I don't even know who hosts this. Do you know who hosts this, Reese? Who hosts this podcast?
A rapper and a social media influencer. I think it's
there you go.
Affiliated with Barstool Sports.
Oh, it is. It's a Barstool one? Okay. All right.
They're 90.
They get a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of them. So they were asked, CJ was asked to rank the top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League. Here's how he ranked them.
I know what I'm doing, dog. Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak.
Joey B.
No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts.
Dak?
Yeah, bro. Dak, that boy. Y'all not gonna say that because he ain't won the big one.
You said Matthew Stafford?
Matthew
Cowboys thing. Cowboys thing.
But you gonna put Dak Prescott in there over Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I got
I'm saying for last year, dog. He ain't play all year. He got hurt.
Well, we can find somebody.
Burrow, one of my favorite players. I'm out of my game after Burrow a little bit. Like,
Why you
Burrow got
with that?
playing styles. Dak is one of the most accurate quarterbacks.
I got to see them this year.
So
in all of that, he called Dak one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the world.
Sure.
And the context there was he was told to rank the quarterbacks coming off of last season. So that's why Burrow's not, Burrow doesn't appear as much because Burrow didn't have much of a last season, and Stroud did, and Dak did.
Okay. Question for the class. No Josh Allen?
Not until he didn't have Stafford either, and it's top 5.
And no Justin Herbert.
So
I feel like Allen, if you're doing it, Allen's in it, right? I mean, he's absolutely in it. Is there any concern? Because I've thought about this a lot. They are obviously the darlings. The Houston Texans they're the offseason darlings. Everyone thinks it's a fait accompli that they're going to win the AFC South again, and they'll hold off Jacksonville. But by the way, Jacksonville is right there. They're only a game out a year ago. By the way, so was Indy, and they didn't even have Richardson all year, and Indy went 9-8. So they're an improved team too. Both those teams are improved. That division got a lot better in the last year. But people are saying Houston. Is there any concern that it's too much too quick for them? That they will be the team that people put too much love on right away and they come back to earth a little bit in year 2?
If they didn't get Stephon Diggs, I'd say yes.
But you always liked that deal. Diggs fell off at the end of last year.
But he doesn't have to go in and be there. I mean, I think he would be there.
They have a great receiving core.
I mean, gosh, he won't have to be there number 1. I mean, he would likely be just because of resume. I don't. It doesn't have to be for them to be successful is what I'm saying. So Joe Mixon is in that running back room. Because of the additions that they made for relatively nothing, they're able to, I think, avoid what would be a C.J. Stroud sophomore slump, unless he's just terrible.
Which that's not going to happen.
I don't think so.
Just from a receiving standpoint with Stephon Diggs, remember they have Nico Collins, who's 80 for 1,308 touchdowns. They have Tank Dell, too. Now, they lost him with injury last year, but he's coming back, too. So, you add Diggs to that. That's why people are loving it so much. It's just there's a lot on them. And he's putting himself out there. And I love it. He's one of those guys that I even think I found myself guilty of this in the kind of the analysis spot, just from the standpoint of what you hear from NFL scouts consistently on Ohio State quarterbacks, which makes them tough to break down, is they are schemed open so much that they are throwing to wide open receivers, in part because of scheme, in part because they have the best receiving core in college football year in and year out. So you don't have to make a lot of tough throws. So they're a tough evaluation. That's where something with Haskins and also with Fields, where it just didn't bear out that way. And we're going to get to something at 10 o'clock, which kind of proves that even a little bit more when we rank the quarterback situations around college football. But he proved what he's capable of. He was humming as the season went along. He was sensational. And now he's in that mix. I think if it's Mahomes on an island, and then it's Lamar, Allen, and then honestly, CJ probably is right there.
Yeah,
he probably is in the top 5. Is probably where it would be. And honestly, if you were starting a franchise from scratch, he might be number 1.
He'd be my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the combination of age.
I don't have a lot of injury history.
You'd still take Mahomes because what are we doing? Let's not overthink this. Mahomes, even at whatever age he is, he's 28? Even if you had 10 more years of Mahomes, he's still number 1. But he's right there. He's absolutely right there in the mix.
He also, on that podcast, said that he would take Eli Manning's career over Aaron Rodgers. And the context it was in, Eli got rings. More rings than Aaron Rodgers. I think it's 2-1, but Eli had wins over Tom Brady in Super Bowls.
I don't think you would do that. I think you would take the one Super Bowl with Rodgers, and you would take all of the MVPs.
I think
and all
you
of
would.
Yeah, because one's a gold jacket first ballot, and the other one is going to probably not be.
Dominate sports talk radio in New York for a decade.
Yeah, I think you probably would. I think the Rodgers career is very clearly better. The other thing he said, though, and I've heard this. This is something that I always heard around NFL circles. He must have had something with Rodgers. There must have been something with Rodgers, because he brought up how if Stafford had the situation Rodgers had, he would have won a bunch of Super Bowls earlier. And one thing that I've found, and I remember talking to Bob about this and Threes about this, NFL players' respect for Matthew Stafford is off the charts. Like, they view him as a dude. And I don't know that he's viewed by all of us that way, but they view him that way. They always felt like anytime you talk to him, they always like, don't sleep on Stafford. He's in a brutal situation in Detroit. If he was ever in a good situation, he would be great right away. And he was. They won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was for Los Angeles. I mean, this is as we, move to 2025, 2026, and as we go into the future, like the Calvin Johnson thing, I think gets lost to history. But one of the most insane, I mean, it was a boggling of a all-time talent.
Yes.
That would have been the difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, he didn't have enough. There wasn't enough of him with Stafford, and then they didn't have enough around him. Those teams just weren't very good. Second hour of the program up next. ESPN ranks their quarterbacks. Every quarterback in Division I ranked. Quarterback tiers will tell you where the Buckeyes land on these rankings coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Hey guys, let's talk game. We watch the games, we talk about the games, but how's your game? Testosterone therapy can help you get back to your best. And there's no better time to get started than this spring. I recommend Low T Center. It's where I get my levels checked. At Low T Center, they'll make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and get your results in about 25 minutes. So if you often feel tired, noticing weight gain and loss of muscle mass, you may have low T levels. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia, often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and I want you to picture this. Cannonballs into the lake, s'mores at the fire pit, sleeping under the stars. Well, that could be you when you visit my friends at RCD RV. RCD is having its summer open house, and you don't want to miss it. Huge RV savings all month long in June. New travel trailers as low as $14,995. The area's widest selection, over 600 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Start your summer adventure at RCD RV. Visit one of the 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Memorial Tournament Pro-Ams going on right now out at Muirfield Village. Rory McIlroy and Jason Day are putting around with Peyton Manning, Anthony Gonzalez, and Chris Pratt. Today at noon, Rothman and Ice will be broadcasting live from Jack's Place. The Fan will have coverage all weekend long, starting with tomorrow's first round that starts around 7:40 Thursday morning. World number 1 Scottie Scheffler is the betting favorite. He'll begin his first round tomorrow at 10:30. In baseball today, the Reds look to break out the brooms on the Rockies. Colorado hosts Cincinnati at 3:10. Reds are on a 3-game winning streak, back home tomorrow against the Chicago Cubs. In Cleveland tonight, the Guardians and Royals go in game 2 of a 3-game set. Nick Sandlin will toe the rubber for Cleveland. Wednesday at 6:40 to be first pitch there. Guardians lead the Royals by 5 games for the top spot in the AL Central. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Reese just Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in the break, we got a tweet at 971BFS.
Okay.
Nathan with this message that Stroud wrote he forgot Josh Allen in a social media caption to the podcast. So he issued his own correction there.
His own mea culpa.
And you said it in last segment, when Stroud this offseason has been everywhere.
Yeah.
And so obviously the rookie of the year, every podcast is going to put that kind of stuff out on social media. And so Stroud correctly, I think, as we did talk about last segment, Josh Allen was a forgettable omission, but he looked to correct that.
Yeah. Well, okay. There you go. Good job out of him. I did see this. You mentioned this in the update. The Pro-Am going on out at Muirfield. Peyton Manning, Rory McIlroy, Chris Pratt, and Anthony Gonzalez in a foursome. There's a ton of star power out there. Rory's going to play the front nine with him, and then Jason Day is going to play the back nine with them, is the way that this is going to go. I was thinking about Chris Pratt and the idea that Andy from Parks and Rec would be the guy that's fronting Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park franchises. I mean, that's as improbable, right? I mean, on a list of improbable, that's it. I don't even know what else would be. I don't know what's in the running to go from like a bit player, kind of a doughy guy on a comedy about Pawnee, Indiana, to the movie star of the. He's probably it, right? Of the 2010s through the 2020s. I mean, who fronts those two franchises?
Yeah, I mean, it did feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't supposed to be as big of a hit as it was, because you've got Dave Bautista, who left wrestling to do it, and the stories that he's told post that, where people in wrestling are like, "What the hell are you doing, man? Like, this is a comic book movie that nobody's going to want to watch. It's not going to be anything."
Right.
And it became probably one of their biggest franchises.
Oh, I mean, they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. And then he was really good in the Jurassic stuff. Like, he's the total front lead in all the Jurassic World stuff. I just watched all three of them in the last couple of weeks with the boys. They put a picture of the PGA Tour of those guys playing, and there's two caddies who are caddying for them. If you are caddying for a group that includes Rory McIlroy, Peyton Manning, Chris Pratt, and Anthony Gonzalez, what is the tip that is in the back of your head?
A golf tip?
No. You're going to get tipped for carrying bags.
Oh.
At the end of the day, you're going to go around the course. You're going to caddy for them, and then there will be an monetary exchange of the job that you did.
I'm probably expecting a 50. To be honest,
I think that's low.
I don't think I'd be expecting them to be just carrying cash on them.
Well, they would, because they're playing a golf, and so you have to. It's like the last place where you have to have cash.
But would like Manning and Chris Pratt know that?
For sure they would. 100% they would. If you are, yes, no question. It's literally the only place, as it comes to summer, and if I go out and play with the boys a little bit on a Sunday night or something like that, it's the only time in the course of a year where I will say to my wife, "Can you get me some cash? Get some cash out." It's the only time because I got to tip the bag kid. You're going to want to tip if you do any sort of valet, any of that type of stuff. You're going to want to tip those people with cash. Now they have like the Venmo at like the Caddie stations that you can do it that way.
Scan the QR code.
Yeah, but like you want to be able to hand them cash. And so I think it would be. I think you're probably thinking it's going to be $100 per.
I guess I was just under the assumption that guys like that, they're not carrying too much cash around. They got somebody else to handle like their financial stuff, especially on a week like this and a day like this where they're guests, they're out to pal around.
They would all know. Okay. If they're golfers, they would know. And they all are. They all are. I would think you're looking at $100 a player. I'm saying that's probably, I think that's probably a $400 morning for the two guys making the rounds. Out at Muirfield.
Question for beverage connoisseur. So Anthony Rothman is out there right now, probably trying to get an interview with Peyton Manning set up. Yeah. They're noon to 3 today live from Jack's Place. He's got a picture of a drink on a bar. It's purple. It looks to be a lighter
transfusion.
Okay. At 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday?
AR's having that? Or is he just showing?
He took a picture of it.
AR's not popping.
You don't think? I thought transfusions were darker too.
All right, so I got this guy. This is the great David Babner, runs the Columbus Marathon. He says the standard on this is 120 per golfer is the standard. So he would know. 120 per golfer. So then now with that information from David, I got to tell you, I think you're probably looking the minimum here because if you're Peyton Manning, the last thing you want is like people thinking that you're not delivering on a tip situation.
NFL executive?
Yeah.
Cheap.
So you're probably doing $200. You're probably doing $200 a player then at that point. I wonder if Rory has to tip. Considering he's playing, he probably would. All of those guys would have cash, though. They would all know.
Wouldn't they all have to tip?
That's the gig. Yeah, they would all. Well, so then you could be getting Day and Rory.
Like, who's got crocodile arms in that group? Like, whoa, I just forgot my
No, they're all thrown in. But I think that Day and Rory probably each give 100 to each caddy. And then, although they could be playing with their caddies, too. That's in play, that part of it. Because they could, it's a practice round for them. Kyle with this, Chris Pratt's character in Parks and Rec with a diehard Colts fan. So I think that's why the pairing with Gonzo and Manning. In real life, Pratt is a Seahawks guy. That could be. That might be it. But that's a star-studded pairing out there, loping around. Yeah, his rise is crazy. His rise is absolutely crazy.
I do hope somebody gets a picture with Andre Iguodala just to see the height disparity between him and whoever he's playing with.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite one on that.
It's fun to see, like because the Curry, Garrett, are you referencing that one?
That's it. It's the best one. It's the best one because people talk about how big Myles Garrett is, and then there was the picture of him standing next to Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's taller. And you say that's what NBA players are giants. You have no point of reference unless you see it live up close how big they all are, how tall they are. It's absolutely crazy. ESPN College Football did their quarterback tier rankings. David Hale, the man responsible for this. So the way that this kind of worked is he's got all of these different tiers for various players. And so his top tier 1 for him, he coined this group the cream of a questionable crop. So the reference here is that this doesn't feel like a Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert type year where there's just a Tua Tagovailoa, like there's a ton of first-round guaranteed talent. You're going to be taking a risk. There's going to be quarterbacks drafted high because you've got to have one, but you may be reaching a little bit with some of these guys. So when you look at this top tier, there's question marks here. He has Alabama number 1 with Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. Milroe was good last year, not great, and I don't know if he's a pro, but he was good. Carson Beck and Georgia. Beck will probably be the number 1 pick in the draft. They're on this list as well. Jaden Rashada, remember, is in the Georgia quarterback room now. Gunnar Stockton as well. Oregon's, this is the only one that I think this is a little bit too much. I don't know that Dylan Gabriel is on this type of level, but he certainly has played a ton of games. I think this is his 6th year of college football. So it's Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore, the transfer from UCLA. That's the Oregon room. They're in this tier. And then the final one, and this one is the safest tier for me, is Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. Like, even if something were to happen to Quinn, your backup's Arch Manning. Like, whatever his physical limitations may be, and some people say he has them, others say he doesn't. He was basically a perfect prospect coming out of high school. So was Quinn. And you want to talk about preparedness? I don't think you're going to lack there. When you go, if something were to happen to Quinn, I think Texas has the best ready-to-go room in the country with Ewers and Manning, and I don't think that that's much of a stretch or much of a disrespect to anybody else.
No, and it does feel like there's a chasm. As I'm reading this, I'm wondering why he's put Alabama first, and then I realize, it's just alphabetical.
Yeah.
Because to say Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson are a quarterback tandem you'd rather have is silly, and I think for Dylan Gabriel, it's the known. Right, over the so much unknown in that grouping with Ty Simpson, Rashada, Gunnar Stockton, Dante Moore, who I think is at his 2nd program now. Dylan Gabriel is at his UCLA. 4th. So
is he 3rd or 4th?
UCF, Oklahoma, Oregon.
So 3rd for Gabriel. Yeah. The next group is where Shedeur Sanders sits. So the question here was tier 1 with an asterisk. So there's just not who's behind him, which is why every time I think about it, just feels like to me like this is going to be it for Deion at Colorado. Shedeur will go pro. He'll be a first-round pick. And then are you really going to try and recruit quarterbacks beyond that? But he's in this mix. Cam Ward is a guy I loved in the portal at Washington State. Remember, he's at Miami. He's on this list as well. Jalen Daniels from Kansas, and then Cam Rising in his 7th year on this list along with Sam Heward. So you say, where are the Buckeyes? Well, they're in this tier. This is tier 3, checking the upside meter Ohio State's room of Will Howard, Devin Brown, and Julian Sayin is on this list here. Now, here's what he has to say, and this was something I referenced with C.J. Stroud and the trouble that NFL teams have with Ohio State quarterbacks. In this story, he talks about the percentage of throws to wide-open receivers beyond the line of scrimmage last year. So at Kansas State, Will Howard, it was 12.5% of his throws were to wide-open receivers. That is 112th out of 126 qualified quarterbacks, so near the absolute worst in college football when it comes to receivers being schemed open or getting open. Last year at Ohio State, Kyle McCord was 19.6 throwing to wide-open receivers. That was good for 33rd in the country. That is an enormous difference, and that goes to the theory of whatever Will Howard was at Kansas State, he is going to be exponentially better here because of the scheme and because of the talent he is throwing to. You're going to see a big uptick in his production based off of that. The story also alludes to this. Since he became Kansas State starter in 2022, 19.3% of Howard's throws were to wide open receivers, while Ohio State quarterbacks averaged 25.4. Which is a pretty straight line conclusion to life is going to be much easier for him throwing to Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith and Tate and all the rest of the talent at Ohio State, let alone the running back room that you're going to have to get guys closer to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to allow for so many things down the field for him.
He'll have a lot of chances to get to his stat pad in games earlier in the season, and this is all predicated. I'm just going to be the one to say it if he's the starting quarterback because. Devin Brown burned all the boats. Mm-hmm. The yak from Quinshawn and Travion, I'm very excited to see what that stuff looks like when they catch a pass out of the backfield. Then those are receiving yards or a pass a shallow pass, like a screen pass that's going to go for 75, which we think, again, if this offense plays like it's predicted to in the first 4 weeks of the season against directional Michigan and some MAC opponents, you're going to have a really good time. You should.
Oh God! I hope you got Alabama's center. You got that running back room now. He is going to be in a position to absolutely thrive. And I think this is a fine place for Ohio State to be on this list. I think Ole Miss is a little better than being on this list. They're in a tier 3 here as well. Jackson Dart is known. Walker Howard's a nice player behind him. To me, they ought to probably go up a little bit. And I think by the time this is all said and done, this Ohio State room is going to be absolutely sensational. How he manages it, Julian saying everything we heard about spring, about him being a dude, like how does that manifest when we get into fall camp? We heard Will on Bobby's show on Sunday night talking about, how close he is with Devin and Lincoln Kienholz, and the room has all come together and they're all rowing in the same direction. But boy, 2 months from now, that's got to stop. And one dude's got to be the dude. It's very likely. To me, I said this yesterday in The Real Truth. I think it's known that it's Will. And then it's just about being 10 feet tall and bulletproof by the time you get to Oregon. That's the job. But this is a very good room. And when you think about it's really the only thing to question. But you ought to feel better based on those numbers that they just shared in this story in terms of the open throws that Howard is going to make. There's going to be a lot of them. The man inevitably in charge of deciding who the starting quarterback is Ryan Day. He was available and honored for a very good reason. You'll hear from your head football coach coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
When it comes to your roof, there's really one team to call, Newman Roofing. From the first call to the final nail, our team of professionals will be there every step of the way, answering any questions you have throughout the entire process. So give Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and I want you to picture this. Cannonballs into the lake, s'mores at the fire pit, sleeping under the stars. Well, that could be you when you visit my friends at RCD RV. RCD is having its summer open house, and you don't want to miss it. Huge RV savings all month long in June. New travel trailers as low as $14,995. The area's widest selection, over 600 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Start your summer adventure at RCD RV. Visit one of the 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
When I'm not voicing Wendy's ads, I'm gaming. I stay up and fueled because Wendy's delivers late.
Are you recording a Wendy's ad? Come on!
Got 'em. Whatever you're up for, we're down. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's delivery late night. Open till midnight or later.
Hours and delivery availability may vary.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I need you to listen up real quick. One of the largest manufacturers in the United States for CPAP machines recently announced they're suspending sales of all their breathing machines over problems with the devices. Millions of Philips Respironic ventilators and CPAP machines are being recalled now that they've reached a plea agreement with the FDA. That all doesn't sound good. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's why I'm not going to deal with my sleep apnea because I don't want to have a bulky CPAP. Well, this is where you need to call my guy, Dr. Mark Levy. Dr. Mark Levy has dedicated his practice to helping people who suffer from sleep apnea, and he can create a custom mouthpiece for you that stops your snoring and effectively treats your sleep apnea with no CPAP machine. Yeah, he's in network with most major medical insurers and is a Medicare provider too. This is Dr. Mark Levy's passion. He's been doing this a long time. He wants to help you with your sleep apnea and also make it so your partner doesn't want to murder you dead because you snore so much. So do what I did. Call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia, often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy on it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now, 800-230-5174.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Tracking showers and storms arriving later on today. The cloud cover will keep things cooler, going 80 for the high temperature this afternoon. Showers and storms wrap up late this evening. Tonight we're looking dry with lows dipping down to the upper 60s. Cooler and less humid on your Thursday. We will have more sunshine tomorrow with highs in the upper 70s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop & Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop & Friends.
Your head coach, Ryan Day, at an event last night. Him and his wife, Nina, honored with the Star Award for outstanding contributions in the fields of trauma and resilience for the mental health advocacy Faces of Resilience. It was last night on campus. The Days donated $1 million to Ohio State to launch the Nina and Ryan Day Resilience Fund back in 2022. This has been his thing. I love it. He's been all over this. As soon as he got the job, this was the way he went, and I know we've been very supportive of it here at the station. It's a no-brainer. Mike talks eloquently about it often. I think it's great, and it's really cool. It was a cool event last night. This is courtesy of our friends at 11 Warriors, who had a chance, among others, to have a little conversation with Coach Day, and he was asked about what is a very big June for him.
June is a big month for us. Summer classes have started. Summer workouts are in full swing. We went ahead and voted on our leadership committee for the summer, which was big. So a lot of the chemistry that happens in the preseason, as you know, is big these next couple of months. We're in full swing with recruiting. Big recruiting weekends every weekend here in June. And then we also have our high school camps, a couple that are going on this week. So it's a busy month in the Woody.
June has become critical in recruiting, and we'll have Jeremy Birmingham with us coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, 11:33 exactly, to discuss this. But this is a critical time in recruiting. I think this is why many people around the sport would love to see an additional signing day popped somewhere in here. Just get rid of the one in December and just put one at the end of June or the middle of July, something like that, so you could kind of get this thing kind of wrapped up early. But it's critical in terms of recruiting, and they had a commitment yesterday from running back Bo Jackson, so 4-star kid from Northeast Ohio. So that's one of those ones already you're starting to see. A lot is happening in the sport. Coach Day has been on various platforms discussing what's happening in the sport. He was on with us a couple of weeks ago. It was great to have him in studio with us. He was asked by the guys yesterday in terms of the revenue sharing and kind of what it could look like. Here's what he had to say.
I do. I think it's the first step in institutionalizing all of this. There's still a lot of things to be figured out, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, do you have any idea how much you'll have financially to use toward your roster yet, or is that still on?
No, it's still to be determined. A lot of things that need to be addressed. The Title IX and just a breakdown of how every school is going to handle it. Obviously, in particular, how we're going to handle it. But we're not there yet.
Do you? Who's in charge of that? All right, we got $22 million to spend. Who's in charge of doling that out? And as Coach Day just referenced there, you've got Title IX considerations you have to make as well. Who's doing that job? Can you imagine that job? Trying to decide? Are they going to decide a quarterback is worth more than a guard? Or are they going to try and pay all the football players evenly?
I would think it's an even split amongst the entire team.
Knowing the NCAA, I think you're probably right. They would probably go 1 through 85 splits, $10 million.
Just because I think the argument would be made, and understandably so, whereas NIL figures out the rest.
Sure.
But I don't know who would be responsible, because it's not Ross Bjork and it's not Mark Pantoni from the football standpoint. They'll have responsibilities with that, but they've already got stuff to do, right? So are you hiring from outside? Because I think it was Paul, when he was on with us a couple weeks ago, said that Texas A&M had to lay off a bunch of staffers just to prepare for the $20 million they were going to need to spend for the settlement alone. And then when you talk about next fall, when they are allowed to share the revenue with their players from television deals, what's that look like?
It's just backwards from every other sport, which is par for the course with the NCAA. But it's just backwards in the sense of, like, this is why they're trying to get rid of, and Ryan Day spoke about this yesterday too, where it was kind of one of the follow-up questions was, hey, we want to keep our walk-ons. So the reason that they're trying to get rid of the walk-ons is so that number is a hard 85, so that you're not splitting that even more into 100. Because I think you're right. I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to say, all right, you got $10 million to spend on football, and that $10 million has to be split evenly among 85 players. I'm just throwing those numbers out. I have no idea if that's right or not. And then the other, let's say you have another $10 million left over. How much of that goes to Title IX? How much of that goes to the men's basketball team, which is also a revenue generator? How much do they get? But if the Title IX part of it, and I don't know this, so I don't know this, but if the Title IX feeling is that you have to spend equally as much on the women's sports as you do the men's, and you got to pay football, 85 of them, that gets pretty crazy pretty quick. You're paying a lot of non-revenue sports a bunch of money if you got to dole out 85 85 women to make up for the 85 men. If it monetarily has to fit. Now, I don't know if it does or not, but if it does, that's tricky. It's very, very tricky for them to try to navigate that. Ryan Day was also asked about his roster. Remember when he was on with us a couple of weeks ago, I asked him about this, and he said, we're probably waiting on a couple still there. The guys at 11 Warriors asked him about his roster, if it's set for 2024. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, barring anything unforeseen, I would say that it's probably pretty set right now and fixed moving into August.
Do you feel like you guys got everything you needed in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I do. It's funny when you just you balance out so many different things right now when it comes to your roster. I feel like we have a good balance. Worked really hard to make sure we have enough depth at every position. I feel like we do.
One of the things he's been pretty consistent with all offseason is this notion of playing 17 and 18 games. They asked him about the quarterbacks as well, and one of the things he said there was like, look, we're going to play 17, 18 games, and the quarterback's going to run. It's not a secret. The quarterback's going to run more. It's not going to be the primary thing, but the quarterback is going to be a threat with his legs, and with that comes injury. And so I think there's a couple factors in terms of how he still has 5 guys in that room of those guys' reputation. And I think part of it is that spring transfer portal window is just not feasible to transfer out. If you're a quarterback, it's impossible to catch up and try to make an impact on a new team that quickly. And I think the other part is just very simply, they have sold him and Chip have sold this room that a lot of guys are going to play. And yeah, there's certainly, you can't play them all, but with the way that they're going to play the quarterback position this year, they're going to take hits. You're going to play a lot of games. I mean, how many quarterbacks did the Browns start last year? Was it 5?
I think it was 5, yeah.
5 different quarterbacks? So if that's the case, you're going to play a couple of them. You're going to get banged up. That's in a league where they go to great lengths to protect the quarterback. They do in college as well, but if you're going to put yourself in harm's way running the football, you're going to be banged up. And I'm guessing that him and Chip have sold them on that.
And I think it's why it's extra important that Devin and Will bring similar skill sets to a quarterback battle that we likely think is Howard's. But if for some reason Howard were to be injured, or if Howard were to be put on the shelf, because you need your starting quarterback if you're going to go 17, or if you're going to go 17 games for this. Like, you're trying to summit the mountaintop, you're playing into January. So at some point, someone's not going to be available that you need. And for this quarterback room, I think to have this kind of similar skill sets, especially with their running threat, lends to Ohio State not having to change a whole lot on the fly. And then in cupcake games, and I'll say this for the 3rd year in a row, I beseech you, play the guys, play your backups with the full complement of Ohio State's offense. Julian's saying you're not comfortable running the ball. Get comfortable, buddy. It's just Western Michigan.
Yeah, you can't be in a situation that they were in last year where you had the transfer of McCord, you had the injury to Devin Brown, and you had Lincoln Kienholz just not at all prepared to play quarterback. And that's not on him. That's on them. And that's why they made a change in that staff. We'll have a little National College Football picture with our good buddy Jake Trotter coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Your morning just got beefier. Morning Juice with Beamer, Bobby, and Shark.
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on, and voting for Miss Popular is officially live. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn more about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl. I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and we are proud to serve our customers for over 40 years, where our name means a great deal. So now it's time to drop those prices so you can save big. All bulk mulchers are now $10 off a yard. I told you, it's time to save. Visit us online at ohiomulch.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry, who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
You're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing. For top quality and a price match guarantee, visit SchottensteinRoofing.com.
All right, it's the first Friday, 10:30. At this time, we talk to our good buddy Jake Trotter, ESPN, joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. You were just at the College World Series back in your home state of Oklahoma. As you were talking to people around the sport, in kind of in light of all of the changes that have happened in the last couple of months, what was the conversation like? Were people discussing where college athletics are heading?
Well, softball specifically, Bo, I don't know that we're going to have a conference dominate a single sport the way that the SEC is set up to dominate softball going forward. I actually wrote about that this morning, called it the SEC Death Star. All 13 teams in the SEC that compete in softball, Vanderbilt does not play softball. All 13 made the postseason this year. Basically, half of those hosted regionals. I think it was 8 hosted regionals. And then they're adding the 2 teams that are going to be playing for the national championship beginning tonight in Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma going for a 4-peat, which is unprecedented basically in college athletics, and Texas is going to be an absolute force to deal with in softball going forward. So if you're anybody else in softball, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I think just the sentiment down there was, man, the SEC and everything is trying to dominate. And, you know, football, we focus on football. We focus on basketball to a lesser extent. But, you know, the SEC and these spring sports, softball and baseball, you know, they have poured a lot of their money into them. And they are primed to be, you know, the best conference in those sports without question for the foreseeable future.
It's a philosophical difference between how that conference has operated the last 20 years and how the Big Ten has operated the last 20 years. And Ohio State is a great example of this. You and I were talking yesterday a little bit about this off air, about how, you know, most of those schools, Texas and Oklahoma, I don't have it off the top of my head, but my hunch is they have between 16 and 18 schools probably. Sports that they support. And the SEC falls in line with that. Most of the SEC teams, programs, athletic departments have somewhere between 16 and 20. Ohio State's almost 40. And a lot of the Big Ten have big numbers in terms of trying to be almost like a Stanford approach and kind of trying to be good at everything. And Ohio State's great at a lot of things, but the SEC they have honed in. And now the question becomes, can these become revenue generators in something that typically is not? And I would put college baseball, which is revenue generating in a lot of that country as well, in this exact same category, Jake.
You're right. And again, there's two different approaches. Do you want to be good in a lot of different sports that don't make any money and in a lot of cases cost a lot of money to fund? Or do you want to trim that down and focus your resources on fewer sports but be completely dominant in them and then potentially generate revenue from them as well? I mean, Oklahoma just built a $48 million softball stadium with I think it's a 10,000 square foot training facility next door, and they sell that thing out. Like, softball makes money for Oklahoma. And I think with women's sports in particular, and you think about women's basketball and softball, I think we are headed toward a period where if you're a preeminent program in those sports, along with baseball, you are going to generate revenue for your athletic department. And you're not going to have to subsidize everything through football, because these sports are becoming self-sustaining due to their growth and popularity. And you do think about like Ohio State. I think Ohio State is a great example of Ohio State. I feel like could have a great baseball program if they really wanted to. Mm-hmm. I feel like they could have a great softball program if they really wanted to. There's a lot of great baseball players coming up through the state of Ohio. A lot of them go elsewhere. They went to Indiana, I think, for a while, when Indiana had a moment there in baseball. They go to other places. They even go to Ohio State, too. But I know the weather is an issue. That's a huge disadvantage, and that's never going to change. But, we have seen Oregon State win a national championship in baseball. Rains a lot there. Not exactly warm there in February. So it's something that you can overcome, but you do have to make decisions. Like, do you want to have a great, swimming team? Do you want a great tennis team? You want to have a great golf team, and you can have all those things too, but they're going to cost money to fund. And some of these other sports, I think, again, are going to become self-sustainable, if not generate revenue for the program, because the popularity in women's sports is just absolutely booming right now. Look at the TV ratings for the women's Final Four. Look at the TV ratings for the Women's College World Series. I can tell you that ESPN is very happy that they own those rights because people are watching those sports right now.
There's no doubt. And when you are great, then you can take when you're dealing with, you think about athletic departments by 2025 for football are going to have to decide how to dole out $20 million. And so that $20 million comes out of their end. So that means you're going to have to make cuts somewhere else. So if you have something that's self-sustaining, now all of a sudden you're in business. That's a huge, huge lift. You would not be. I'm sure you talked and poked around some of your old buddies down in the Oklahoma, the Boomer Sooners down there. What is the feeling that you got down there in terms of next fall with Oklahoma year one in the SEC?
Something I hadn't really thought about, but it's absolutely true, Bo. Oklahoma is getting ready to play the toughest schedule in the history of the program. The only thing that's comparable is there were a couple of years in the 70s where Texas was top 5, Nebraska was top 5, and they played USC as well. Colorado, Oklahoma State were pretty good during the 70s in football. But Oklahoma is going to play Texas on the neutral site in Dallas. And then toward the end of the year, they play 4 straight conference games against teams, at least in our rankings, the ESPN rankings, are going to be in the top 4. The top 12. 3 of those 4 games are going to be on the road. So at Missouri, at Ole Miss, at LSU, and then Alabama at home. And that doesn't even factor in games like Tennessee, like Auburn on the road. And so Oklahoma could be really good at 8-4. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how the fan base is going to refocus, or if they're going to be able to refocus the expectations, because 8-4 traditionally in Oklahoma is like a disastrous season.
Yeah.
Very similar to Ohio State. You go 8-4 at Ohio State, what went wrong? You go 8-4 at Kentucky, that's a great year. So Oklahoma is going to have to reset its expectations a little bit. Now, the positive is that the playoff is going to 12 teams, and if you go 9-3 in the SEC, you go 9-3 in the Big Ten too. I don't know if that makes the playoffs, but I think there's going to be a pretty good case for those teams because of the strength of the 2 conferences. But it's not like Oklahoma is putting its best foot forward right now. It's not like it's 2003. They have kind of struggled a little bit here the last couple of years, since Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams left to go to USC. They haven't won the Big 12 championship. They didn't play for it last year. So it's a critical time at Oklahoma, and the whisper I hear, no one in the OU athletic department would say this out loud. The whisper I hear is, boy, we better not become the Nebraska of the SEC.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of similarities between those 2 programs and the point at which Nebraska went to the Big Ten a little more than a decade ago, and now Oklahoma heading into the SEC.
It's hard to wrap your head around that, but it's interesting that a lot of the athletic directors at the SEC meetings, they talked about that. They talked about 9-3 better than 11-1. So they're getting that out there to be prepared for that. The other thing I remember, the athletic director at Oklahoma talking about, one of the reasons that they wanted the SEC was because their fan base didn't have good games to go watch, because the Texas game's neutral. And it's you get Bedlam, but the rest of the Big 12, there just wasn't enough great games of teams coming in there. They would do the home and away like what they did with Ohio State, that type of stuff. But consistently, it was hard to get their fans excited for the games. Well, now you got Bama coming. Be careful what you wish for, right?
Yes, right. Yeah. You may not get excited about playing Iowa State. You may not get excited about, playing Baylor. But those were very winnable games. So you didn't always win them, but those were winnable games. Yeah, you can get excited for LSU. You can get excited for Florida. You get excited for Georgia. But I don't know how excited you're going to be about 7-5.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Oklahoma, because the one big difference between Nebraska and Oklahoma, we thought Nebraska was going to go to the Big Ten West. What was it called back then? I can't remember which was which.
Legends and leaders nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know which was
ridiculous.
Which. But we thought Nebraska was going to go to the Big Ten West and dominate the conference. And quite frankly, they probably should have, and just have not been able to. The Big Ten West is very different from the SEC and the teams that Oklahoma are going to have to play. You don't have Alabama in the Big Ten West. You don't have LSU in the Big Ten West. And even teams like, Missouri, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they've had their moments too. It's, Arkansas, Texas, it's A&M. It's just different. And so Nebraska should have and should be dominating the Big Ten West. I don't know that we're going to say that about Oklahoma, given the level of competition.
I think you're right. It's going to be fascinating. We all can't wait to watch that integration this year with Oklahoma and Texas heading to the SEC. Great stuff as always, Bud. Thanks for your time.
Okay, see you both. Bye.
All right, that's our good buddy Jake Trotter, national college football writer at ESPN, joining on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I work for Meijer. People always ask, why do I shop there? It's because I can get great quality and value in one stop. Like this week's hottest deals on certified Angus beef and locally grown asparagus. Plus, I can earn M-Perks points every time I shop for groceries, apparel, at the pharmacy, or when I'm at the pump. Meijer has all I need in just one stop, and the same low Meijer prices in-store and online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Hey guys, Andy Katzenmoyer for Game Day Men's Health. Struggling with low energy, lack of focus, and trouble in the bedroom? You might have low testosterone. Game Day is here to help. They specialize in low T and other treatments just for men, like vitamin therapy, sexual wellness, and weight loss. Best of all, it's quick. Get started in as little as one visit. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan to book your free low T test today. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Want to see some football players try to play softball? Join us for Schmidt's Cardale Jones Charity Softball Game.
Why picnic when you can Schmidtnick? And presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and the playoff action is here. And there isn't a more rewarding sportsbook in the game than Tipico. Get ready to bet on the biggest games of the year, the playoff basketball, the hockey, the actions every night. You want to make the most of every game? You've got to bet with Tipico. You'll get up to 5% cash back on your bets. Claim your new sign-up bonus now and get $150 in protected bets when you deposit $100. Sign up now. Enter the promo code TheFan150 to get your bonus. Download the Tipico Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ready for an amazing deal? BreezeLine's fiber-powered internet starting at $19.99 per month offers the reliability you deserve and security you can trust. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, we've got all your needs covered with speeds up to 1 gig and our 2-year price lock guarantee. This deal gets even better with 2 free months of internet, free equipment, and free Wi-Fi your way to protect against cyber threats. Act now. Terms and conditions apply. Offer expires July 8th, 2024. Learn more at breezeline.com.
Have you ever called a company and after hanging up the phone felt a little nervous on who exactly they might be sending to your home? It's a common worry and one that we all face at some point. Well, when it comes to your roof, there's no need to worry because the Newman Roofing team has you covered. Our team of professionals arrive on time in marked company vehicles, and you'll always be greeted with a friendly, warm smile on their face. Our experts take the time to thoroughly educate you on the findings of your home, not only fixing your roof, but ensuring you understand every step of the process, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. That's why Newman Roofing has been the most trusted roofing company in Central Ohio for the last 32 years, and counting. So whether you need a small repair or full replacement, call the company you can trust. Newman Roofing at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Not interested in Iowa football? Too bad. Chops will tell you about it anyway. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
So about 30 minutes ago, the Wall Street Journal reported the NBA is nearing an 11-year, $76 billion media revenue deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. ESPN's going to be paying $2.6 billion a year, NBC $2.5 billion a year, Amazon $1.8 billion per year. Means TNT officially out, at least until ESPN maybe subsidizes, but thing or not a thing?
Huge thing. Big number. You're at, what did you say? 7 points?
76 over 11 years.
So 6.
Math.
Yeah, I don't like math. Basically $7 billion a year is where you're at on your media rights. That's much bigger than anybody thought that they would get. Everybody thought that there would be a bit of a recession on that. The ratings would certainly justify that. But here's the deal with live sports. Even as they are down, it's still more than they're not down as much as everybody else, is the reality. And live sports still is an incredible thing in terms of the currency around it. I'm fascinated to see what NBC does with their Basketball Night in America thing on Sunday night. If they can turn that into something, I think that's a really fascinating play by them. It's heartbreaking from the Turner perspective. My hunch is that those guys, it would not surprise me at all if they launched somewhere else and just did that show. I mean, they could even do like a McAfee thing where they own the show and sell it out to people. They could do that for sure. Chuck is going to be able to write his ticket however he wants to do it, wherever he wants to go, if he wants to do something on his own. But if they want to stick together, I think that they can. There's plenty of options to do so.
All right, I'll have you choose your next adventure. J.J. Redick or Florida High School Athletic Association news?
Let's do the Florida stuff because that'll probably lead into a bigger conversation maybe tomorrow. But go ahead with that one first.
On Tuesday, the Florida High School Athletic Association Board of Directors unanimously voted to allow its athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. And I didn't know this until today, but the Sunshine State's the 36th state in the union to adopt college-style NIL rules for high school students. California, Georgia, and Louisiana are among the states permitting NIL activities, and really the fear of losing elite athletes to other states among one of the reasons for Florida jumping on this bandwagon as well. Currently, Ohio does not allow NIL for its high school students. Thing or not a thing?
It's a huge thing. This is why Quinn Ewers ended up at Ohio State a year early, by the way, because he couldn't profit off of name, image, and likeness in the state of Texas at the time. My hunch is Texas has got that sorted out. This all changed with social media, and that's when it became a thing where, like, a little kid reviewing toys could make $12 million a year, and you said, well, why can't a high school football player make that? There will be people who will say, well, yeah, this is going to lead to recruiting and incentivizing and all of those things, as if those things aren't already happening, as if those things don't happen every year in the state of Ohio. I mean, just look at the private school. Let's just do football because this is what we spend most of our time on. Go look at the state championships won by the private schools in this state at the highest level, in Division I, in Division II. It's Hoban, it's St. Ed's. Those are the teams. It's the GCL teams. It is such an incredible thing when something like Pick Central happens or something like Hilliard-Davidson 15 years ago happens. Those things happening, like a public school winning a state football championship in the state of Ohio, that's a tough road to hoe, man, to be able to do that because of recruiting, right? So that's not going to change anything. And so now you'll have kids being able to make – I hope that it happens in the state. I think Ohio's got to get its act together. I don't think you want a bunch of kids – look what happened with that Darren Peterson kid. Remember I talked about him? So he's the number 3 player in the country. He is the best high school basketball prospect I've ever seen play in person. I did not see LeBron play in person in high school. Best player I've ever seen play. He is a 5-star, can't miss. He played at Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, I think, up near Akron kid, and signed reportedly a 7-figure deal with Adidas after his sophomore year. And so in order to cash in on that, he had to go to Huntington Prep to play. Well, that sucks. That really sucks. It would have been nice to have that kid who's an Ohioan play for a high school state championship in the state of Ohio. And he should have been able to do so. If someone was willing to pay him for that, then it's a joke that he wasn't able to cash in on that, in my opinion.
So we'll do the J.J. Redick news now. Shem Sharania reported Tuesday he is the front runner, Redick is, and the leading choice for the Los Angeles Lakers job. The report adds, L.A. is down to either Redick or current Charlotte Hornets assistant James Borrego. The Lakers could be waiting until the NBA Finals are completed before making that announcement because Redick's doing the TV with ESPN. But Sharani also reported former Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski has been advising Los Angeles on this coaching search. Jeez. Of course, Krzyzewski coached Redick at Duke. Thing or not a thing?
But remember, LeBron is not involved with this. Because he said so. Don't you remember that?
Yes. And he says he's always speaking his truth.
He loves, his truth in the moment. He loves that a lot. Here's what I hope for J.J. Redick and, quite honestly, for the Lakers, because it does feel like the Lakers are really, since for the last decade, and they have won the one championship in the bubble, but they're just teetering on irrelevancy almost all the time because they just don't have stability. So what I hope with the hiring of J.J. Redick is, and this is finished if it's being reported the way it is by Shams here, if that's the case, then what I hope is that J.J. Redick is like the coach of the Lakers for the next decade. Through ups and downs, highs and lows, go be the head coach. Go be like Spoelstra with Miami. That's the model, to me, is the Miami organization. Constantly in the mix, different rosters here and there, but it's the same guys at the top. It's Riley and it's Spoelstra, and they've been there for 15 years now or thereabouts. And so to me, that's what I hope that this finally means for the Lakers, is that they have stability at the top, Redick, and that's the way it goes going forward. One other thing on this. The notion that he somehow is not qualified is just nonsense. It's utter nonsense. He's completely qualified. He played for a long time at a high level in the league. There's no reason that he is not capable of doing this job. I mean, there's plenty of guys from Steve Nash to Mark Jackson to there's a ton of them. Jason Kidd's in the finals
tomorrow.
Correct. So you can do this easily. And I also would say that, honestly, head coach in the NBA, to me, feels about the least relevant head coach in professional sports. I mean,
you got a guy like
how
LeBron.
much there is it?
It's they do we'll have audio next hour from their podcast that Redick and LeBron do.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're doing film session. They did film session a year. Is that tampering? Wait a minute. Were they doing film session before they were allowed to?
I don't know. Well, he was a media member at the time, so I think that they probably were.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff there. We'll hit a little Hey Guys coming up. Get your officially endorsed as well. Check out on the Buckeye Recruiting with Jeremy Birmingham. It's all coming up in the final hour. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Good evening, this is your captain speaking. Our GPS flight tracker is on the fritz tonight, so we will be flying blind.
Here in Ohio, if you qualify for a medical cannabis card but still buy recreational cannabis, you're also flying blind, missing out on benefits and tax savings. Find your way to veriheal.com to see if you pre-qualify for your medical cannabis card in less than 5 minutes. VERIHEAL. Veriheal.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, So is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The 49th Memorial Tournament gets underway tomorrow morning at 7:40. That's the first tee time for the field of 74. Everyone's starting from the first hole Thursday and Friday. World number one Scottie Scheffler is going to start at 10:30 on Thursday. He's the betting favorite to win this weekend. Defending champ Victor Hovland is paired with Xander Schauffele, and they'll follow Scheffler around 10:40 tomorrow. The Golden Bear Pro-Am's going on this morning at Jack's Place. Local celebrities Anthony Rothman and Matty Ice are out there now. We'll broadcast live from noon until 3 today. The Fan will be out there all weekend long, starting Thursday at 6 a.m. In baseball today, the Reds play the Rockies at 3:10. Redlegs are going for their 4th win in a row. The Guardians have the Royals tonight at 6:40. And the Cleveland Browns have announced extensions for head coach Kevin Stefanski and general manager Andrew Barry. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Time for your questions via Hey Guys. Hit it, Reese.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by High Bank Restaurants. Dine, drink, distill.
Yeah, we're talking about High Bank. You're talking about the best blended whiskey in America. 3 years in a row. It's right here in town. Winner here is going to get the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. You're going to get the distillery tour and for tasting for up to 10. Support local, grab a bottle, the ready-to-drink cocktail, the Midnight Manhattan. Folks, just get this one, put it on your shelf. You have people over, you have a dinner party. This is the perfect post-dinner cocktail. It's ready-made. It's good to go. Midnight Manhattan, their twist on the classic Manhattan. You're talking about High Bank. Drink the best, forget the rest with High Bank Distillery. I got this one via email first, Reese. We'll start here. This one from Nick. He writes, hey guys, if you had to pick fictional characters from one TV show or series to play golf with, what show are you picking? Which 3 characters are you playing with in your foursome? I mean, this is easiest ever. This is LD. I get Vince Vaughn because he was in Curb. So I get LD, I get Vince Vaughn and Curb. And then the question, would it be, I think it's the Funk Man. As much as I love Leon, I don't know that Leon golfs. So I think I would want the Funk Man back to life. Now, Richie Lewis is a Buckeye, was a Buckeye. May he rest in peace. So that's close too, but I think it's Curb. It would definitely be Curb.
I think I'd go with the cast of characters from Caddyshack. So I'm getting Judge Smales, I'm getting Chevy Chase's character, and then Rodney Dangerfield. Maybe I could sub in.
You got to go Bill Murray.
Smales with Murray.
Yeah, you got to have Murray.
I
think he's the best time you're ever going to have.
The interaction, though, with Smales and I forget Rodney Dangerfield's character's name. I'm not golfing with you, Danny Noonan.
The stories from that set are insane of that movie because the Ted Knight is the guy who plays Smales.
Al Cervic.
Al Cervic is Dangerfield. Ted Knight's like a proper actor. So everyone else was kind of just screwing around, and it basically drove him nuts. So his anxiety and anger in that came from a very real place.
And that's my all-time favorite sport. It's my all-time favorite sports movie. Like that in Major League are 2 that I don't think you'll ever top in golf and in baseball films, in my opinion. Don't hurt me, Field of
Major
Dreams
League
fans.
is the only thing that I get a little tired of, like the Jake love story angle with Rene Russo in Major League, but other than that,
it's forgivable.
It's perfect. It is. Yeah.
We'll stick with the golf theme here. Michael tweets in, hey guys, do you ever see the U.S. Open or PGA Championship coming to Muirfield Village, and what would that take?
I don't think it would take much, but I asked Dan Sullivan, who's the tournament director, last year out at Muirfield about this, and the way that I posed it to him was, give Columbus a major, one major before while we still have Jack. Like, let's have Jack's place host a major. And his response to that was very stern and very direct, and I don't blame him, but they would never do that to risk the Memorial Tournament. That they would never give up the Memorial Tournament for a year. So in order for it to happen, especially where it is now on the schedule, the PGA and the U.S. Open, you would have to give up the Memorial Tournament for a year to get the U.S. Open or the PGA. The only place in town, and we're blessed with incredible courses, but really the only place in town that can do it on that scale is Muirfield Village. It's the only one that's built for it. I would love to see it. I think it'd be really cool. I totally understand Dan's point, though, in terms of you don't want to give up a year of the Memorial Tournament to be able to do so. So you'll hopefully see more President's Cups and Riders' Cups and those type of things at Muirfield. But I would love it. And there really is no... I mean, if you look out on the U.S. Open and PGA, they have not played a major in the state of Ohio since the one up in Toledo, Inverness, in like the late 70s. It's been that long since we've had a major here. That's not right. We got a lot of great courses. Firestone up in the Northeast Ohio area is certainly built for championship golf. I think it's a shame.
Well, now you've knocked kind of Valhalla out of the rotation.
They're done.
Maybe there's a chance you could do some swapsies if Muirfield would get a PGA one year, then Firestone maybe gets the Memorial, and maybe move the Memorial back into the Memorial spot. But
I wonder if you could do... this would take some creative thinking. I wonder if you could play the Memorial Tournament like at Scioto. There's no parking is the problem. But like, could you play the Memorial Tournament like 1 year at Scioto in order to have the Village host the Open?
I'm sure there are plenty of people who live around Scioto that would offer their lawns and driveways for it. that area I know very well. So
yeah. These are your people, your constituents.
Just let them park on the lawn. Who's going to get hurt? Troy tweets in with this, and he prefaces the "Hey guys," but he just moved into his first apartment, so he's looking for ideas. Hey guys, what was your go-to home-cooked meal when you started living on your own for the first time?
Oh my gosh!
Congratulations, Troy, by the way.
So is this... I mean, there were all sorts of staples that I did. I remember I had like a tuna... There was like a tuna thing that I would do with like rice and rotel and like corn, I want to say, or mushrooms. That was pretty good that I would do. That one was in the mix. I did this last night. I said yesterday, like the kids were still away they were still up at the lake, and so I did dinner for myself, and I cooked a filet just for and it was like pretty satisfying to like just, and very easy to like just, little salad, filet, little shrimp cocktail for yourself. That was nice. In college it was, I don't know if people are still doing this, but like I crushed a lot of ramen in college.
Mm-hmm. Same. You're kind of, as I've gotten older, I've done up ramen a little bit more, so you get egg noodles instead, but you can still put chicken in there and make it spicy, but also fancier than just the single packet, the 79-cent packet.
Yeah, I think for price point, that's still pretty good.
Yes.
Ramen's really good. It's still, I made it for the boys. They weren't sure what to make of it.
You can doctor it with good. More than just chicken, so I think it's the most versatile thing. Like, bang for your buck, I don't think anything beats it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also remember we were big Hamburger Helper, because you would get, the beef from the Ponderosa. So we'd have a freezer, and there was always ground beef. So it was a lot of Hamburger Helper. I was very big, and I even still, if I can do like a one-pot meal, like I'll do a stir-fry now for the whole family. I love a one-pot. Less to clean up. I'm big on that.
I would try to find, this would get probably like either later in the week or right before a paycheck, where you just find stuff in your fridge. You're like, this could taste okay.
Yeah.
And like the feeling of accomplishment when you found like a combination of stuff you would never think to put together, like right. This is edible, is pretty undefeated. But I'm like you, if I can do a pot of spaghetti, like ground beef, ground turkey, ground chicken, and then have that for a week, was usually the go-to.
Yeah.
Dustin with this, sticking on the food theme. Hey guys, you're entering a 4th of July eating contest and must win to live. What's your food of choice?
Must win to live. I tell you what, I can do, there's two things that came to mind right away. I don't know if I wouldn't win anything, but the two things that I can really still crush are pizza and chips and salsa. I can crush both of those. Like I could, even now at my ripe old age, I could easily, if there were no consequences, I could crush an entire pizza in my sleep. That's easy dubs.
It would depend on who I'm competing against. I'd like to think I can put away a lot of chicken wings pretty quickly. But if I'm competing against a professional chicken wing eater, I guess then I'm in trouble. But it would be wings. Just because you can get to the point where you're almost a conveyor belt of wing, bone in, wing, bone out.
Are you flats or drums?
Drums.
I'm a flats guy.
But if you're doing the competition to live, you got to go flats.
Yeah.
Because drums would just take too long.
Yeah. The kids always go for the drums, and I always just scoop up the flats.
That's a veteran move out of you, though.
Yeah. Let them go. You can have them. I'll go down this road. They don't know how to eat them. It's frustrating for me when I see the amount of meat that's left on the flats because they don't know how to get in there.
Give them time. They'll learn to appreciate it a little bit more.
Sort it out.
This from Dave. Hey, guys, since all 5 quarterbacks are still with the Ohio State Buckeyes, should 5 guys take advantage and do an NIL deal with them?
That's great. Yes. Yes, they should. They 100% should do that. Yeah, that is very good.
We're giving marketing advice out here now. But yes.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. That's a really good one. Good job out of him. Yes, they should do that.
John tweets this in, and I'm going to have to let you go solo on this because I can't recall the characters of Friday Night Lights as well as you and Chops can.
Sure.
But John just finished Friday Night Lights. It says it's a great show. With you naming your dog after Buddy, what dog breeds would you guys associate with the personalities of the main characters?
Oh, my gosh.
And could you do that in, I guess, 5 minutes?
All right, let me write down so Riggins, Coach, Tammy, Buddy's already established. I think they're the only ones that are there the whole way. Julie's there most of the way, the daughter. Everybody else kind of bounces back around. So Buddy's, obviously I went Buddy Garrity as the golden retriever. I think that fits very well. Tim Riggins. What's a mischievous dog breed? What's one that's always kind of in trouble?
Feels like Odie's Pit. Like the pit bull in Odie is always scheming. Like the other day, I have to take the bag out of the cupboard to scoop him to feed him, and I left the bag open in the kitchen. And I've used to be able to, I can hear him, but he was doing it very quietly about a week ago, like eating out of the bag. But it was very quiet, like almost like he knew. He knew what he's doing.
I mean, we always had one cow dog, and then we always had one pit bull, like lab bird dog cross. So we always had one of those guys, and those guys kind of fit the Tim Riggins character, where because they had the bird dog in them, they would chase things, but then a little bit of mischievous. By the way, the best dogs ever. I mean, I would say that to Buddy Garrity's face. Like, they were superior to you. That's a fact. And then for Coach and Tammy, to me, it feels like they're both like labs, like just solid, dependable, good humans. Like they kind of fit that mold a little bit. That's an interesting. That was a great show. I ran into somebody last week who hadn't seen that. Like, geez, how's it possible that you have not seen for any time that anyone who's my age and they say they haven't seen it, I say just stop what you're watching and do that right now. That's what you need to do is just go do that right now, because it'll absolutely deliver on all sides of it.
Paul did tweet in, and I don't think we have any time for this, but the Guardians, he says this. The Guardians have to do something about the starting pitching. What should they do? They've only got 2 legit starters right now. That's a hey, guys, but I don't know if there's time for that.
Also, Paul, like, I'm just getting into it. I can't get ready for 2 legit starting pitchers conversation. Like, I'm not there yet. Here's one from Chris. He says, hey, guys, out of all the professional athletes, what do you think is the best lifestyle, and why is it a PGA golfer? It is a PGA golfer. What's second? Man. What is second? Probably NFL.
I was going to say backup quarterback.
Yeah. Probably NFL quarterback's pretty good.
Like, Jameis Winston's got it pretty good right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to pick a winner. Was it Michael with the U.S. Open question?
I believe so. Bengals Mike is his handle on the social media platform known as X.
There you go, buddy. You scoop up the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank and the Distillery Tour. You're going to enjoy that a great deal. Make your reservations, by the way, at highbankco.com. Stop by High Bank's 2 locations, Grandview, Gahanna. Enjoy their award-winning spirits for your next happy hour. LeBron James said what? Coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning white water to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Save $80 on select sets of 4 Nokian tires at AAA Car Care Plus. Not a member? Not a problem. Everyone can save $80 on Nokian tires through June 15th at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Do you subscribe to the Fan's YouTube channel? Well, why not? Catch our best interview, Stupid Man and Bone videos, and live video of our shows as they happen.
You can participate in your neighborhood watch.
Search 971 The Fan and subscribe today.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Here's a summer treat from Giannino's. Get a medium one-topping pizza for only $8. Giannino's Pizzeria in Pickerington and Westerville. You want a piece of me? Huh? Some restrictions apply.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heading into your Wednesday afternoon, we will be tracking showers and storms arriving late this afternoon, going into the early evening hours. We are going to be looking at temperatures around 80 today. Tonight, we drop down to the upper 60s. Look for the upper 70s on Thursday with partly sunny skies with the possibility of a pop-up storm. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Rubishod on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop and Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, certainly we're about ready to get ramped up here on the hardwood and the ice, and the place to take advantage of that is with our great friends at Tipico. It's the best place to get it done. Here's what you do. Go to Tipico, put in the promo code TheFan100. You get a $100 bonus when you bet $25. Download the Tipico Sportsbook app today. That's the promo code TheFan100. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for more. Tipico, take care of you on that side of things. Before we get to Braun, because this is great, I did get this from President Bush. He's got W's picture. That's pretty good. He goes, hey, guys, I was scrolling through TikTok, and The Undertaker's greatest entrances came up. I've come to the conclusion that The Undertaker has the best entrance ever. That got me thinking the Buckeyes should have a special entrance for big games. Maybe they should run in to Hell's Bells. Well, they play the bells. That's out there. The other, the one that would be the natural would be What a Rush. I mean, that would be, Threes is Pops. And, little Animal and Hawk. That's probably the one that would be the natural if you wanted to do that. But that would be up to Threes if he would want to go down that road or not. But I think that's pretty damn cool.
Glass shattering. Like, I don't think you top that. While the gong's pretty dope, I think there's anything as iconic entrance-wise. When I'll say like this, when you hear the glass, it's your ass. Like, that is definitely a product of, I was not watching wrestling during that time. So I was not watching when the Stone Cold Rock stuff was happening. I enjoyed that honestly because of YouTube. I didn't watch that in the moment. But yeah, that's pretty good. That was the one that you thought would show up on WrestleMania this year, right? There was talk that you'd get a Stone Cold over The Undertaker, and I think Undertaker came in. And that was a pretty ridiculous reaction. Like that was what you hoped for. I think we even asked about it. And I think we of course went to science, and most people said the glass would have been bigger, but still the gong. I mean, second place to that is the gong, and that's not a bad second place. No, they did. They landed the plane on that main event about as big as you can do it. All right. Speaking of main event, LeBron James has been the main event for about 2 decades. He does a podcast with JJ Redick, who apparently is going to be his new head coach. I wonder if they'll keep doing that. Will they still do the podcast if he's coaching him? But they do the Mind Game podcast with JJ Redick, and LeBron took the opportunity to address Kyrie Irving's talent and his time with him.
Listen, I will call Kyrie the wizard all the time. Like, all the time. Like, there was nothing on the basketball floor that Kyrie couldn't do. And sitting here watching it, I'm playing like so happy and so proud and to watch him and continue his growth and whatever the case may be. And at the same time, I'm so mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore. So I'm like, I just remember those times. And back to what you were saying, JJ, like to have a guy like Kyrie Irving as the ultimate wild card, that's like having it's like having a draw 4 in your hand every time someone deals you cards in Uno.
So there's some revisionist history here. It's well known that the reason Kyrie Irving demanded a trade, and at the time it was about as shocking as anything could be with LeBron's second tenure in Cleveland, but the reason that he demanded a trade is because in the previous season, LeBron wanted him to be put in a deal for Paul George. That's where the animosity came from. That's where it came from. Do you remember the video of him and Steph Curry running their mouth that summer? Like that animus came from LeBron wanting him to be put in a deal for Paul George.
Yeah,
that all happened.
This is player LeBron saying that, but he forgets like general manager LeBron's still there, like in the back of his mind.
He's got selective memory.
Yes.
Now he's right that he campaigned hard to get Kyrie there in L.A. Like, he wanted the Lakers to sign Kyrie Irving in a very big way. And the Lakers could have gotten Kyrie Irving, honestly, for a bucket of balls is what they could have done.
There's so many people that thought he was going to Dallas, and that would be it.
Now, they could only offer him so much because they're paying everybody else, which is what their problem is they're paying LeBron and they're paying Anthony Davis. So there was a limit on what you could have paid him. But the idea that they could have had him, that was all very real. They could have had Kyrie Irving in Los Angeles. And to me, when I saw that, I thought, well, that seems like kind of a no-brainer. Like, and it's not a coincidence, I don't think at all, that Kyrie has had this renaissance in Dallas. Because Kyrie, as much as he wanted to run his own team, as much as he wanted to be Batman, he's Robin. He's the perfect Robin. The best times in his career have come running opposite LeBron and now opposite Luka. And what do LeBron and Luka have in common? They're ball-dominant forwards. I guess Luka at least calling himself a guard now, but they're basically point guards, both of them. And he plays well off of that. I mean, when he went to Brooklyn, it was with Durant. But when it was in Boston and he was trying to lead all those young Turks, he was not comfortable doing that. Not at all. So this is a place he's very comfortable, is in this role, being the Robin. And by the way, that's not a slight to be Robin. Robin's a superhero too. And you got to have those guys. And not everybody's willing to do it. But he's been willing to do it. And when he's done it, the 2 times in a career he's done it, he's been in the finals. That's not by accident.
Is it weird that I'm rooting for Kyrie on Thursday? Because I know I'm also wondering the animus that LeBron received in his return to Cleveland as part of the Miami Heat. It won't be like that for Kyrie, but it might get up there.
Well, they don't like him.
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah, they've been
successful without him.
Yeah, it's like they've come out of it. Like, you remember they signed him and Gordon Hayward that same offseason. Was going to go those two and then Brown and Tatum, and they've been fine without him. I don't know. I don't think I'm guessing it will be spirited. You know, it's interesting. You said you're rooting for Kyrie. I honestly, as a kid, there's nothing I hated worse than the Celtics. You know, all my family was Celtic fans and antagonistic at a young age, so I like the Lakers. So there's nothing I hated more than the Celtics growing up. I don't really have that animus towards them anymore. It's one of those ones where I don't know who I'm going to root for until I turn it on tomorrow night. It really probably won't be until then and then wherever the heart goes, the heart goes. I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for in this. I feel like I'd like to see Tatum and Brown. They've been together. They drafted them. They procured them. They paid them. They've been great. That feels like a homegrown group. Am I sure I want to see Cuban win in a second title? I don't have any issue with Luka. He's great. And I like Kyrie. Kyrie's provided as much joy. If you're a Cleveland Cavalier basketball fan, I always think, he hit the shot,
That's
man.
The shot. He's the author.
He hit the damn shot. It's a tough shot.
You're not winning that without him.
No. He had 40. Him and LeBron both had 40. Was it in the game 6?
Yeah, I think so.
In Cleveland? They both had 40. You had to. It wasn't just LeBron. It wasn't just. Remember, it's the stop, it's the shot, it's the block, it's the stop, it's the shot.
Yep.
It's all of those things have to happen. Kevin Love has to ball out and defend the way that he did against Steph Curry. LeBron had to get the chase down.
Performances.
Every single one of them had to happen for them to win that championship. So he's an integral part of that, and that's something that I'll always look back very favorably on. I'll find out tomorrow night who I'm rooting for. I really don't know.
Just real quick, is there an athlete that lives his truth as much as LeBron does? I don't know if there is.
No, you almost have to get to political people to the way he operates, or billionaires. Because he is a billionaire now.
% believes what he's saying.
Yeah, because he's probably had no one who's spoken truth to power to him in a long, long time.
JJ's not sitting there being like, "You sure?"
No, he's not fact checking him. Right? I mean, that's not going to happen. All right. Big month in recruiting. We'll get the very latest on the Buckeye side of things from our good buddy Jeremy Birmingham coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
Bobcat Enterprises, your local family-owned partner for your spring landscaping and construction projects, is here to provide you with real solutions for your toughest challenges. Bobcat rents, sells, and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including Bobcat compact track loaders, Bobcat excavators, Bobcat tractors, and more. Bobcat Enterprises has been owned by the same family since 1975. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, and Zanesville, and find current specials, our full line of products, and rental information by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it Almost Heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180, with a buzz term for you. GLP-1. The buzz part doesn't mean GLP-1 isn't important. Quite the opposite. GLP-1 is a crucial hormone produced in our gut that regulates blood sugar and appetite. Basically, it helps control our weight. The buzz is because pharmaceutical companies are positioning medications as your only treatment option. But that's not true. Losing weight with Awaken 180 already supports GLP-1 function, and we're now introducing GLP-1 Balance. GLP-1 Balance by Awaken 180 addresses the root causes of weight issues by focusing on nutrition, gut health, and sleep. By addressing these areas, your body naturally balances GLP-1 levels, making weight loss easier and more sustainable without lifelong medications or side effects. If you're curious about GLP-1 Balance and how it can work for you, talk with us. Find us online at awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Call 614-502-5220 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Yeah, and when you talk recruiting, you do it with the best in the business. He's our good buddy, Jeremy Birmingham. And of course, Dotting the I's, the podcast. He joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Where do we find you right now? What are you doing right now, sir?
I am watching as about 700 teenage football players check in for the first Ohio State recruiting camp of the summer, and registration is underway. Camp should start in about 20 minutes, and just trying to get a glimpse of the next group of, hopeful Ohio State football players.
The Ryan was available. He was honored for his charitable stuff last night, and he talked about, and we had him in a couple of weeks ago. He talked about this as well. Like, June is critical. When did this become the case of this month being so critical in recruiting? How long has this been the case?
I mean, it's always been important for as far as the building of the program when it comes to the camp season and that sort of stuff. But it's really probably 5-6 years ago for Ohio State. Really, at the start of the Ryan Day era, they made an overture to really reconstruct the way they handled official visits and not really wanting to have them during the season because players do not get very much opportunity to spend time with coaches when they're in town for games and game day weekends, especially if the Buckeyes, lose a game, then the weekend gets real weird. So these camps are just the connective tissue to the official visit weekends, and you'll see, double-digit guys every week coming in, and it's real time with the coaches. It's real, personal time, and that's really when it shifted. It was when Ryan Day took over.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the other thing we talk about in the sport, and in your world probably is omnipresent, of this wish of getting a signing day at some point in the summer to get this to be able to be locked up and be put to bed. Is there any momentum, and any real momentum for that in the sport, Berm?
There is momentum for it. I don't know if it'll happen now. I mean, we've already seen the first signing period move up, still very silly, I think, like 3 weeks. So you'll have the first signing period this year will be December 3rd, and then you have this, still the traditional one in February. But there is some momentum for it to happen at the end of June, which I think makes a world of sense. You get it right at the end of official visit season. You give kids who want to make decisions a chance to lock in and go through their senior seasons and their senior year of high school without having to be hassled day in and day out. And it eliminates a ton of the pressure on the coaches who are working, trying to retain a roster, prepare for a bowl game, prepare for a championship run. I mean, all that stuff that you're doing in December is silly. I mean, June is chaotic. December is insanity. And so, you have to try to find some way to take some of that off the plate.
All right, this class is already humming. They got, by my count, 13 commits. 3 of them in the 5-star range, maybe more, depending on the service that you're relying on for your rankings. I want to get to Bo Jackson's commitment yesterday, but I did want to ask you about Tavian St. Clair, the kid from Bell Fountain, who, depending on the service, is either the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the country. In terms of Ohio-produced quarterback, where does he sit for you?
I mean, as far as just upside potential, I think he might be the best we've seen in the state, maybe in 20-plus years. I mean, Troy Smith was really, really good, but, coming out of Glenville, he was a little bit underrated. Obviously, the way that they developed, Joe Burrow was not viewed as a can't-miss prospect, but he's, maybe one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL. So you don't want to put that sort of expectation on Tavian, but as far as just a prospect goes, as far as the size, the arm talent, the strength, the speed, all of the intangibles are there also. And so he's very unique. I think, and I had a conversation a few weeks ago, I think only in the last decade of Ohio State quarterbacks, the only one I would rank ahead of Tavian as a prospect would be Justin Fields.
Yeah. I mean, you probably got to go back to like Schleister. That predates both of us to find somebody who was like that in the state. Zwick was a huge recruit at Massillon. He was a big, I don't remember if he was a 5 though, but he was borderline on that. But it's just rare. And so when I see that, like number 1 quarterback in the country out of Bell Fountain, it's just such a crazy thing to be able to say that. They got a big one last.
There was a kid in Cleveland, Joe Pickens, in the early 90s, who was like nationally maybe the top ranked quarterback, depending on who you checked with. He didn't pan out in college at all. So, you have those sort of stories, but the expectations and the ability of Tavian St. Clair is through the roof.
Is the idea with him, and are they I mean, they got 5 guys in that room now. Obviously, it probably won't be that way by the time he gets here. But is the idea that one of those guys, Julian, or one of those guys is going to play for a couple of years and you're going to have to kind of wait your turn? Is he comfortable with that, or is his idea, I'm coming in, I'm going to go right away?
I mean, every quarterback who Ryan Day recruits understands the lay of the land, and which is you're going to have to go in and compete your butt off if you want to play at Ohio State. And there is no expectation for any quarterback to come in and play as a freshman. If Tavian is in a position to do that, it would be remarkable. But from a roster perspective, it actually sets up fairly nicely for him. We'll see who's still on the roster come next spring, and that really will determine how things shake out. But his goal is to play as a freshman. He'll tell anyone that, but he also understands the reality of it, and won't be disappointed if he's sitting his first year.
All right, let's talk about the Bo Jackson signing. Great name. I mean, it's just a spectacular name. He committed.
Lamar Michael Jackson is his real name.
Lamar Michael Jackson.
And Bo is the nickname.
So that's just like the other Bo Jackson, because his real name's Vincent.
So it's a pretty remarkable set of names, however. I mean, Lamar Jackson, Michael Jackson, Bo Jackson.
You're right. That's all very famous Jacksons. What type of player is he, and what did they get in him?
You've got a big running back, a 6'1", 6'2", 210-pound back who is as good a prospect on defense as he is on offense, probably, but he'll play running back. He's had some injury issues throughout his high school career, which I think has kept him a little bit under the radar nationally. You're starting to see his rankings move up, though, as people get to see him in person. Played almost the entire season last year with a torn labrum, so that kept him from playing a lot of offense because he could. I guess it's easier to hit people with a torn labrum than get hit with a torn labrum. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor, but he's got a ton of upside. That's what you like. He's a great kid, great family, and he's a player that should be one part of what could be a 3-man recruiting class at running back, which is rare and unexpected in this day and age, but that's the goal for Carlos Loughlin. And so Bo's a perfect start to it. Shows Ohio State over Georgia and Alabama, and if you're competing against Georgia and Alabama for a running back and you're winning, then that's a big W.
Yeah, and that'll be necessary because you're not going to have Trey next year. You're not going to have Junkins next year. So you're going to have some new guys come into the mix and be dudes. Over the next couple of weeks, who are you? Are they close on guys who they're trying to get to commit over the next couple of weeks? Who are some of the big fish that they're really going to try to reel in over the next couple of weeks?
I mean, the biggest one is not till the June 21st weekend. Sorry about that. David Sanders, the 5-star offensive tackle, #1 ranked player in the country by a lot of people's measure. He'll make his official visit over the June 21st weekend. This weekend, you've got Damian Shanklin from Indianapolis in town for his official visit. Very important for Larry Johnson. You have Fahim Delane, who's been the top of the board safety prospect for Ohio State for over the last year, coming in from Baltimore, Maryland. He's extremely important to this class, especially because in-state safety Trey McNutt, there's a little bit of the headwinds are not really moving in Ohio State's direction there. I think he kind of wants to branch out and do his own thing and go out of state. So if that's the case, then Delane is arguably one of the most important defensive recruits on the board. But there's only, with Bo Jackson now, you have 4 offensive commits in the class. So that's really the focus over these next few weeks. The offensive line, this weekend, you have 3 offensive linemen visiting. Javen McFadden from Washington, D.C., Andrew Stargell from Georgia, and Jackson Lloyd from California. They would take all 3 of those guys today if they wanted in. So it's really about growing the offensive class over the next few weeks.
You're the best, buddy. Appreciate your time as always and your expertise. Thanks for loaning us a little bit of it today.
No problem, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, that's Berm joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Just for perspective, so Notre Dame has the #1 class right now in the country, but that's really just because of the amount of kids they have, the quality of the class. Ohio State, according to 24/7's rankings, have 3 of the top 6 players in the country for next year are locked in. I mean, that's dealing. And the idea that the #2 player in the country is a quarterback from Bell Fountain is a lot. That's a lot going on. Because, and the other thing, it's a hell of a year for Ohio high school football because Luke Montgomery, who's a kid from up in the Findlay area, he's going to Georgia. So you got 2 kids from Western Ohio. One's going to Ohio State, the other one's going to Georgia. That's dealing, man. That's big time. This is going to be a fun year in high school football in the state, getting a chance to watch some of these kids go, and going to be a very, very fun summer at Ohio State as this importance of this June is really starting to hit home. All right, we hit you with your officially endorsed and 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends are here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
We go to war for you. Would you bring a knife to a gunfight? This is attorney Robert Scherger. When the insurance companies call, give us a call at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or go to warforyou.com for a free consultation.
warforyou.com.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Here's a summer treat from Giannino's. Get a medium one-topping pizza for only $8. Giannino's Pizzeria in Pickerington and Westerville. You want a piece of me? Huh? Some restrictions apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You probably heard me talk about Dr. Mark Levy's custom-fit oral appliances to help treat sleep apnea and how they are so much better than using those bulky, uncomfortable CPAP machines. Well, I've been talking about it for years, and the FDA just recently announced a recall of over 18 million CPAP masks. Yikes! These CPAP masks, the ones with magnetic headgear clips, can potentially interfere with certain medical devices. Pacemakers, implantable defibrillators, neurostimulators, aneurysm clips. And if that happens, that can cause injuries not only to yourself if you use these masks, but also your partner as well. Sleep apnea is no joke, and as I've been saying, it affects everyone in the home. So if you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea and you can't tolerate your CPAP machine anymore, or, just flat out worried it could possibly do harm to you, that sort of thing, call Dr. Mark Levy today for your custom oral appliance at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's right, Dr. Mark Levy, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Morning Juice.
I wish someone would slug it up in the face, knock about 5 teeth out. You want to flip your mask up, buddy? All right, deliver one right to the suck hole.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
When you're drinking a frozen beverage from McDonald's, your brain may not like how refreshingly cold it is. But the rest of your body, oh yes, it's gonna relish every moment of it. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
Refresh yourself with an any-size frozen drink like a Sprite Lemonade for just $1.79 and paired with a McCrispy and fries. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey guys, Andy Katzenmoyer here for Game Day Men's Health. Struggling with low energy, lack of focus, and trouble in the bedroom? You might have low testosterone. Game Day is here to help. They specialize in low T and other treatments just for men, like vitamin therapy, sexual wellness, and weight loss. Best of all, it's quick. Get started in as little as one visit. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan to book your free low T test today. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I work for Meijer. People always ask, why do I shop there? It's because I can get great quality and value in one stop. Like this week's hottest deals on certified Angus beef and locally grown asparagus. Plus, I can earn M-Perks points every time I shop for groceries, apparel, at the pharmacy, or when I'm at the pump. Meijer has all I need in just one stop, and the same low Meijer prices in-store and online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of OT or a shot on goal in the first period.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And Fred's, it's your Uncle Bo here. Low testosterone can cause a bunch of problems. Low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. Many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there's medical treatments that can bring them back to vigor and vibrancy. And if you feel like this, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. And my friends at Tri-State Men's Health are experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. They successfully treated many men for low T, including myself, and we have seen amazing differences that the treatments can make in your lives. I've seen it for myself. My sleep's better, my energy's better, all of it. So if you're like many men, including me, who have low T, within a few weeks you're going to feel your energy return, the brain fog go away, the sleep, all of it. The workouts are going to be more productive. Your sex drive is going to significantly get enhanced as well. Tri-State Men's Health, 2 locations, Hilliard, Westerville. Most men wait a year or longer. That is not, and there is no need to wait on it. Give them a call today, 1-800-900-9654. Visit tristatemenshealth.com for more. What do we have in the poll today, Reese?
Daily Fan Poll asks, should Ohio lawmakers approve high school NIL in the Buckeye State?
Yes.
With the caveat that Florida had it approved yesterday, one of 36 states that have high school name, image, and likeness laws. 52% of respondents to the Daily Fan Poll agree with you. 47% say no.
Yeah, just get with the times. This is where we're at, kids. It's a First Friday. Hit it.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday. Officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
Sponsored by Sugar Shannara Accident Attorneys. We go to war for you at warforyou.com. That's warforyou.com.
We drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good. Because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar. Because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
Yeah, and on the eve of the Memorial Tournament, there can only be one true officially endorsed, and it is the transfusion. I first had one of these a couple years ago. Bob and I had one out there as we were walking around. Really delicious on the golf course. Many of you have probably had it before, but if you want to make it at home, it's really easy. It's 3 ounces of the vodka of your choice. It's 1.5 ounce of Concord grape juice, and then it's basically what amounts to 2 lime wedge squeezes, a 1/4 ounce of lime squeeze in there. They're best, I think, over like the chewy ice that you get at Sonic. They're best under that. That's really good. But they win. It's really refreshing. It's good. And on the eve of the Memorial Tournament round 1, it is a no-brainer as you're officially endorsed. Time for 3 things.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
So it was, number 1 for me, the wife and the kids were still away yesterday. And so after watching not quite enough of the Guardians game, I then decided looking for something else to watch. And I was pounding through the various streaming services that I have, and I stumbled upon on Max something that said, if you liked Sopranos and Deadwood and all of this, you'll probably like this show too. And the show was a show that I'd never heard of before. It's called Warrior. Are you familiar with this at all?
Nope.
Reese, Warrior? All right. So apparently Bruce Lee was really trying to get this done a long, long time ago. It's 1878, Chinese immigrants coming over, Chinatown, San Francisco, all of this. Watch it or not, it's fine. I've watched a couple episodes, it's fine. Here's the reality, though. I am a sucker for period piece, violence, TVMA. If that is in, I'm in. I'm in. It's really that simple. This is not one for the kids. I'll tell you that right now. 2 episodes in, though, you give me a little violence, a little TVMA, I'm up for it.
Bo, I know you, like many, were wondering, as Tristan McKenzie struggled last night against the Kansas City Royals, Guardians need some pitching help, man. And I don't know if there's anything that can be coming from the pitching pipeline. Gavin Williams, he did a second rehab appearance last night for the Clippers. They were in Indianapolis. He struck out 5 in 2 1/3. So this was an inning and a third longer than his first rehab appearance. So he's building up his innings, struck out 5. He was chased in the 3rd. But to answer your question, to answer Paul's question, because I know that's a big discussion, or it will be in the Bishop household when your kids get back,
sure.
Gavin Williams could be the help Cleveland needs here, but they're hitting so well, it may not matter until later.
It's interesting because what I do know about them is that historically that's always been the pitching that's been there, and it's been the hitting that hasn't. So now they have different problems.
I miss you, Shane Bieber.
Yeah, that's right. Number 2 for me. So, as I mentioned, the wife and the boys have been away up at the condo for the last couple of days up at the lake, having the time of their lives. Little golf, little fishing, all of these things. Little vacation up on the lake. And it occurred to me that like my kids really aren't missing me at all, like zero. But what was even more troubling is what they were missing and what they requested was images of Buddy Garrity. So like the dog has replaced me as what they missed the most. So, like, literally, NBC is Snapchatting me last night, trying to get me to send him pictures of the dog. That's where we're at.
Well, this is now going to become my second thing because in the YouTube chat, and yes, we are on YouTube, everybody, for those unfamiliar. Go to YouTube, search 971 The Fan. We've got live shows, old shows, and shorts and stories for you. People have asked for Buddy Garrity in the video. We've had at least 3 in the last week and a half. They want to see the dog in the video.
With me?
Yes.
I don't even know. He's so spastic.
We're at Muirfield the next couple of days,
yeah,
but
so
maybe sometime.
All right, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's a charmed life. He's under some sort of umbrella that my wife purchased out there, sucking down peanuts. He's living his best life. Number 3 to me, for me, as Reese just alluded to, we are at Jack's Place the next 2 days. I love Jack's Place. I love this tournament. I love what it represents in Central Ohio. I love that it's the unofficial start of summer in Central Ohio. I cannot wait to be there tomorrow. Going to be a blast. Look forward to seeing all of you out there as well.
That damn Anthony Rothman's so connected. Him and Matty Ice are out there today. He sent that picture because he knows everybody.
He does.
So AR used his connections to get in for the Pro-Am. So they're doing the show from noon to 3. Still going to have Adam Schefter on at 12:33. I don't know if over the phone they can share transfusions, but I guess we landed a person on the moon. Let's make that technology happen.
What is if he can go interview, what's the one guy he would want to, would it be Manning, Pratt? It'd be those two, right?
Because
one
he's
of those two.
I don't want to say older movie aficionado, maybe Rob Lowe.
Oh, he'd have fun with Rob Lowe.
Right? Because everybody would think, right, either Manning or Gonzalez or Pratt, but Rob Lowe's right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could break down St. Elmo's Fire, the only movie in the history of film.
The whole movie.
The only movie in the history of film where the soloist is a saxophone, not a guitar, but everybody gets jacked up for the sax solo. That's the way that rolls there. He'll have a full breakdown. Enjoy your first Friday. We are back tomorrow out at Muirfield Village. Rothman and Ice up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
This NFL Action Update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Philadelphia Eagles are the favorites in the NFC East at plus 115. Their odds to make the playoffs this year are minus 220 and to miss plus 170. Over-under season win total is set at 10.5 games. And the Eagles are 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. Good for the 7th best odds in the NFL. For your Tipico Action Update, I'm Scottie Vegas.
Today's Muirfield moment is sponsored by the Waterworks. The 1993 Memorial Tournament was a duel between two close friends, Payne Stewart and Paul Azinger. Azinger trailed Stewart by 1 shot heading into the 18th hole. Both players found the fairway off the tee, but on their approach shots, Stewart and Azinger both hit balls into the deep left front bunker. Stewart's ball was plugged into the sand, but he managed to get out unscathed and had an 8-foot putt left for the win. Azinger's ball was nestled nicely at the bottom of the bunker, and with one stroke of his wedge, exploded the ball high in the air, clearing the lip of the bunker, and watched as his ball rolled 15 feet across Muirfield's lush finishing green right into the bottom of the cup. Stewart missed his downhill par putt for the tie, and Paul Azinger, after hitting the bunker shot of his life on the 72nd hole of the 1993 Memorial Tournament, would capture his 9th career PGA Tour victory. This Muirfield moment is brought to you by the pros at the Waterworks. From plumbing and drain issues to heating and cooling, the Waterworks is your ace in the hole. Schedule today at thewaterworks.com.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
You're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
The Sign and Drive Green Tag event continues, offering 0% for 84 months with no money down on a John Deere compact utility tractor with loader. Limited time offer. Visit your local Ag Pro today or go online to agproco.com for more information.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. June only, they're making huge deals for Dad with savings up to 50% off any garage floor. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com